she has another meeting during this time. All right, so I'll call the meeting to order here at 6:33 p.m. So we do have a quorum. All the board is present here. We did have proof of notice go up on Sunday on the exit gates, as well as being on the website. They sent out the meeting minutes from our last meeting there. I don't think there was any changes to that unless somebody saw it.
I didn't see anything.
Okay. So with that, I will make the motion to waive the reading of the meeting from the, waive the reading of the minutes from the prior meeting and approve as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we got a lot to cover here. We'll go through the financial summary. We have our 2019 proposed budget, committee status reports, and then if we look at continuing business, Halloween decorating contest, various recreation improvement updates for us to take action on, front marquee project. Then for new business, we've got the 2019 BOD schedule, and then we've got the 2019 annual meeting election timeline, and then an item that Kathy had brought up is looking at refreshing our logo. You know, the pearl with the shield and all that, so we can get into it. Thank you, Nick.
Yep.
So from a financial performance, we had a good month this month. So you see income was about flat overall. G&A, we're about $2,000 favorable. That's primarily with $1,700 of that is located in performance and legal fees. Grounds, we're $2,400 favorable. Again, that's driven mostly by the routine infrastructure maintenance account, tree removal, holiday lights, and that's a timing thing, grounds, and then playground was unfavorable. That's the $400 we paid for the report.
Oh, the report?
Yeah,
okay,
the safety report.
Yeah.
So that was processed. The guardhouse there, it's about flat. So you got security services, you know, again, it flips back and forth with the timing, you know, depending on how many productive days they have in the month. It gets billed out, so that's flat. Utilities was basically, it was $200 favorable, so that's always good to see it moving in the right direction there. Reserve is standard, and then total expenses overall were almost $5,000 favorable. So I think net income for the month was about $4,600 and some change. So pretty good performance for August there. Year-to-date revenue, we still have, you know, that's going to be what it's going to be with the credit that we processed in March or May, whatever that was. G&A, about $2,300 unfavorable. That's been driven, legal fees we've had, $1,300 in extra printing we didn't forecast, and then office supplies to support that. Grounds, $26,000 favorable, 14 of that's loaded into RIM, and then tree removal, grounds, wall repair, and 1,300 of annuals, since we had taken those out, but they'll come back in 2019. Gatehouse is flat, basically, you know, for the year to date. Utilities, we're getting the gap down. We're still $2,400 unfavorable overall. Reserve expenses, we're still, you know, that is what it is. Total expenses, though, are favorable by about $22,000. And as a note, this was the month that we were now break even for the year on a net income basis. So we've overcome the entire assessment credit that we had to push through.
Oh, okay.
So we actually did it a month earlier because I had forecasted it would happen next month, but now we're at $67.82 of net income for the year to date.
That's good.
Metrics here, we have operating surplus, $262,000 and change on hand. That's 446 days. So again, you see we continue with the upward trend and sloping here. Net income, like I said, we're now at 0.0%. So I think we still, we can make 6% when we got, you know, basically 4 months of performance to go on that, barring any major issues. Receivables, we had $36,000 last month. Again, follows the usual pattern. It dropped to $24,000, so we had $12,000 in collections on that. In year-to-date receivables is it's still 5.3. That hasn't really moved too much through the year. so. The aging, they have out of that total amount there, we've got 16,000 of it's loaded in the 90-plus days, and primarily that is in 3 accounts. The number 1 account is currently in bankruptcy and foreclosure, so that kind of limits our options in terms of
And
collection.
that house is empty
Yeah.
now, right?
No, this is a different,
Oh,
a
okay.
different house.
Okay.
The house that, the other, number 2 on the list was the one I think we've talked about before. That one is with actually Larson. Their attorneys made the formal complaint for assessment foreclosure
Okay.
on that. So that, again, you have 20 days to respond.
No, it's
It's
just
the usual.
process.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the third one here is another one that is, we're confirming it, but it looks like it is in foreclosure. So they'll take the necessary action at Larson to protect
Okay.
our stake there, so. As you can see, nothing really changed. This is a little misleading, the 60 days, because if you look at the 60 days of breakdown, a lot of it looks like soft costs, $41.17, something like that, which I'm sure we'll probably get some requests from people going forward to waive it. But it's a little misleading. It's not like we have a slug of money there tied up, so. Okay, so I reworked the project dashboard here a bit. Just to highlight here, we've got you've probably seen the grind and replace, or the replacement project is up and going with for the concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did finish the basketball hoops were replaced. The water fountain was completed, that's fully installed and functioning.
And used.
Yeah.
Yes, Bentley appreciates
Oh, is
it.
that Terry still doing
Yeah,
that?
well, I haven't used it, but Bentley has.
Fountain of youth at our park
Is it
now.
sparkling
Yes.
with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
Filtered and
Bentley.
chilled, you know.
He normally doesn't even drink water when I go up there, bring his bowl, but I showed him it, he did it, and then the next day, we're up there playing, and he went to it. And it's like, I'm like, wait, I gotta hit the button, Bentley, so he likes it. It's probably sparkling.
No champagne, right?
Yeah, not yet, that's the second one we buy. And then, so the tennis court, I put the tennis court fence replacement down. Each of the vendors came back, I may have mentioned this last meeting, I don't recall, but what they want to do is on a full fence replacement, the vertical posts, which is essentially your perimeter footprint, to replace them, they're going to cut them, pack it with cement, and then basically move them over, put them back down
Where's this?
in the tennis court. But
Oh, yeah, you did mention this
Yeah,
last
and I
meeting, where they're
said
gonna
no.
move them just a few feet.
Yeah.
let's just repaint them unless it's
Yeah.
completely a disaster. And none of the horizontal ones are a problem. I said, can't we just keep the same footprint, paint them, put the fence on, redo the horizontal bars, obviously, where we have the
Right.
bends in them, and then the gates. So I'm waiting on the final cost to come back on
So
that.
why would they have to move it?
Because that's what they say they always do, which is, it's a definite cost adder and labor
Right,
for
right,
that.
right,
It's gonna be
yeah.
huge on that.
Yeah.
There's no way, they're gonna get a permit to do that,
Mm-hmm.
unless you get the as-bills, the county will not sign it off.
Yeah.
So they have to move and put in what's absolutely known at that point.
Mhm.
No choice,
Oh, is that why it,
Yeah.
okay.
no choice,
And we don't have the as-bills, do we? Do we have the
probably not.
I
blueprints?
don't-
No, probably.
Well, we might.
Yeah.
We do have a fair amount of
Yeah,
documents that,
Digitally?
yeah,
Okay.
because I sent them out to get them digitized, because they were the large plat surveys,
Yeah.
whoever paid for them, because you don't get them from the county like that anymore. So
No.
we had to send them out to get digitized, because you can't just throw them through a scanner.
Right.
So
Right, yeah.
we should be able to load all that to the website here soon, they should be back.
So that may be what they're saying, right?
But they can give me an answer to that. They haven't given me a
Right.
definitive
Yeah.
answer other than
Okay.
this is what we usually always do. Well, that's fine, but there should be a root cause why.
Mhm.
Let's see, the tennis court gates, I've put those really kind of on hold till we figure out the fence, because if we
Mhm.
have Alden
Yeah.
do the fence, then they need to do the gates too at the same,
Yeah.
that just makes sense. We'll talk about the trash can replacement, coming up. The putting green for the volleyball replacement that we had talked about
Yeah.
last year. The bids are, I guess one is coming in, we got 3 others coming in.
Okay.
So we're gonna review that next time. The bike rack and the paver program we'll talk about today, the bench replacements we'll talk about today. Table replacement, we just haven't got a good one back. I think that I'd like to figure out if we're gonna go with these benches, and then we'll match the table to them, so it all has the same look and feel.
Perfect.
Mhm.
And then I do have for the solar charging station for your phone or whatnot, 3 bids, or 3 proposals back with different modules on that, so I'm
Oh,
just
that's
getting
nice.
the details on that. Street lamp fixture replacement, that is still open. We're about 2/3 of the way through the timeline for Duke, so I would assume probably around Halloween they'll start.
So we're on the docket for them though, right? Okay.
Yeah, it just takes them anywhere from 60 to 90 days to actually queue it up because they've got
Oh,
to
yeah.
order.
Oh, lead time's horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I mean, they got to order, what, 117 or 110?
And it's not just us.
Yeah, this is standard, this is what the guy said up front.
Yeah.
It takes forever to do.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, a lot of neighborhoods are doing this now
Yeah.
too, right, so.
So, let's see, common area tree trimming, we did move it to red on all things there. They will be back out tomorrow and hopefully finish this project out tomorrow. And then the monument signs, logo and lettering refinish. That one, we'll talk more about if we want to do the logo refresh, or at least entertain the options of the fresh and the logo.
I think we need to.
Then, we obviously don't want to spend money to redo the shield and all that
No,
if it
no.
changes a bit. The only ones that could move forward, but I don't know if it makes financial sense, you probably want to bundle it, are the subdivisions. You're not going to change the Water's Edge, Boca,
Right,
and Avalon
right.
stuff. It would just be
But I was even thinking, even if we changed, maybe the gold lettering to black and stated some black.
But
as
even
plastic.
those, even the ones for each they're kind of dated. Like
They
the designs
are.
of them are kind
Yeah,
of dated. If
they
you look at
are.
other communities. So not saying we have to, but
I mean,
they
we
are.
can lump it in there and throw it. I mean, I don't think you're going to want to
Well, let's get some
refinish
bids on it and
the
see.
subdivision stuff without
So
doing
we need to
anything.
change the stickers on the cars also.
Well,
Well, that's
Yeah.
not gonna happen, but.
Yeah, just-
the renter
Yeah.
thing, well, that we can change those since we.
We
Yeah,
can change it
well,
as
the
we
renter-
go.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
renter ones we can change.
Change it as we go. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so-
time though, we need to do, we probably should have done this with the stickers, but we didn't think of it.
Yeah, but we would
Yeah.
probably stay near our same color scheme anyway. It's not like we're gonna all of a sudden go with an
Yeah, I think
orange and black.
Yeah, but
so
like Mike
it's-
said, we gotta get out of the Eddie Bauer.
Mid-
you know,
1995
yeah,
Explorer look.
Yeah, Explorer edition,
It's because it's
logo.
more evolutionary, like what they did with the Cadillac logo.
Yeah.
It kind of progressed from the old crest and wreath, and then they did the crest and wreath
Mhm.
Art
Yeah.
Deco, and then they just have the crest now.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, you just need to start updating
Yeah,
it. so.
simplistic is where the more
Yeah.
modern approach is. Everything's becoming more
Right.
simplistic, not overdone, not
But
too
in
much.
my opinion,
you know.
as much as I really like the new Phillips Grove logo, I think that's nice. I also think it's very trendy, and they're
Yeah.
gonna be dated very quickly, right? It's not gonna,
Yeah.
it's,
So
you
is
know.
it common to change logos from time to time, or?
It's more
Yeah.
Maybe
evolutionary.
we
You're
should
not gonna.
keep.
It's
just
good to do it
preserve
every
our
10 years at
Right,
least.
you know,
identity.
10 to 20 years,
It's
10
every
to 15 years, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
even Coca-Cola, like all those big brands, they change their logos. They change maybe just a small tweak to the color, just to,
Well, look
just
at
to
Pepsi.
keep with
Pepsi's
it.
one that always fools with their.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's worth it.
you should do it. It doesn't mean we're gonna completely redo it like crazy and put swans and like
Right.
it doesn't have to be overdone and completely changed.
But you can
But like
start
a designer will
slowly.
make small changes that'll make it more updated, new, fresh. Give it something a little more.
Do you have our logo here now?
We have it up.
Okay.
There it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
but see, it's
These
not
things
white,
can
it's
go.
gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I think the ribbon can go, this is not
Yeah.
late 90s, right?
Yeah.
This is,
Because even the font would be
Mhm.
That's
updated.
it. Yeah.
So we'll keep the the shield?
Well,
I think we should. I
The
think we
company
should.
that I know and I've worked with before, they're quite good. What they'll do is if we choose whichever package we choose with them, they do different concepts, like quite radically different concepts, and we just decide, oh, okay, wow, it looks really good with not a shield, or it looks really good with, oh, this shield here. Like
Without the
they give you so
ribbon
much
or-
difference
yeah, that's good.
that you
Okay.
can really go like, no, let's go down this way, and then they branch out from there, and then branch out. They just
Mhm.
wait until you find the perfection
Yeah.
of what you like. So
I think it's time. When you look at home decor, all that's in style for about 10 years. And we're,
10 years is usually it.
yeah, and this was what, mid-90s, early 90s when that thing was done?
Yeah, mid-90s, yeah.
Midnight '96.
Yeah,
when it
it's
started going
time
up.
to update us.
I think the logo first appeared in like, what, November of '96? That's when it
Yeah,
first
see, and that
came
hunter
out.
green and gold is,
Yeah, but even like, for example, from my company, it was our logo is a light bulb, but it was very two-dimensional. And when I went through this company, they literally just made it more of a three-dimensional, more of a modernized
that's exactly what my
version.
company's been doing.
Something
We
so
haven't
small.
changed like lettering per se, but just the
Yeah.
aspects of it, and it's just
Yeah.
slowly evolving into a change.
Yeah, certain colors go out of style too.
Oh, yeah.
Certain colors are just like, don't.
That's
use
why I'm
those
saying
anymore.
we could stick with more blacks, because blacks are, you know.
Well, we've got white, black and white is usually like your
And then that hunter
standards.
green.
And then we've got green, which I'm sure they'll give
It's
us
not green, it's
variations.
that hunter
What
green,
is
which is old.
the
They'll give us
Philips
variations.
logo
Yeah,
now?
I think
They
it's
changed
perfect.
This group is like it.
I know,
haven't
well, no,
done
it's
anything,
better,
so-
it's better than what.
Who changed?
Nobody changed it.
No.
That mean, I haven't seen it, it's just the new
What?
subdivisions that come out.
The new.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we're
But
just trying
I-
to stay with the the other.
But
Stay
from the old
updated,
ones, nobody
current.
changed, right, there, like
Mm,
I
Philips
haven't seen
Landing
any
or.
major tweaks.
I haven't
No,
seen any yet.
No, we just,
But
They
then-
will be, but.
But
not
then
yet.
again, you have to recognize the fact that most HOAs don't operate in a business mindset of worrying about the brand. And
Yeah.
how it's played, the
Yeah,
brand
that's true.
placement, what's the brand message, what are the brand components, you know, how does this all
Yeah.
dial in and wrap it up?
So,
this
so
stuff?
what do we need? We need, if we change the logo, that means on the gates.
if
Because-
we remove the
Well,
shield,
no,
for example,
but so
you
it
know.
depends, if we can do just some subtle changes that update,
Mhm.
you know, that also go with what we already have, then we don't have to change everything, because it's cohesive. If we
Yeah.
do a major change, then yeah, everything needs to change, but
No,
if we
but
can
if
do some
you
subtle
change
changes.
the font, then probably you need to change it.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, let's just look at the logo, see what we really love, and then we'll worry about transitioning the rest of the stuff. Of
Yeah.
like, okay, we're replacing this, let's replace it with also then our new logo.
I'm less
yeah.
worried about transition because we may not even like anything that comes back. And
Yeah, that's
right.
whatever we put out
Exactly.
on the website to the community to get feedback on, I mean, we might not do anything. So we'll worry about transition if we get a,
Yeah, if some people
For
just
sure.
stay honed in with our current logo, then.
And I don't know that we
you know,
want to
so
do
be
a
it.
total redo, like if what we like is like radically different, then that's not gonna, I don't think that'll work.
I think a refurbishment is like the better word to use.
I
Like
think so
we're
too,
just
yeah.
keeping what we've got, just kind of like
Updating it with. little
perfecting it a little bit
Yeah,
to
just a
today's
refresh.
standard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it needs to be updated though,
Mhm.
it's time.
nothing really new here. We're still got, if you can see, the trending is going up. You're getting more hits on the website. We did add somebody
good.
new for email consents that moved in. So
Okay, good.
on there, so that's going up. So that takes us through the financials and the dashboard, and we can move into the budget then for 2019. So I know we sent this out for everybody's review a while back to get any feedback on. So this is what we all arrived at here. So we've got the 2018 amended budget versus the proposed. As you can see, our income level will be 505,840. G&A, you know, you got subtle differences here, probably the biggest one in ground, and we'll go into that in a minute. Gatehouse, we did raise utilities. We've had 2 straight years of substantial underperformance or unfavorable performance in utilities. It's just time to recognize that everything's going up.
Yeah.
In terms of irrigation, electricity, all that's going up as it is. And then reserves, we bumped up from 92 to basically 91.5 is the core component. The other piece of it is the reserve study. We amortize over 3 years. So we put in, another, I think, $9,500 to get it to a flat 100,000. So it ties out. So essentially, everything will remain the same. It's flat. The assessment levels of 533 for Boca and Waters, and then 355 for Avalon. And that'll carry over into 2019.
Well, okay, so like PC to go
Mhm.
or whatever, I mean, have you factored in any
Mhm.
increases that they're gonna have too, or?
No
they're not?
increases.
No increases, okay.
There's no, and we'll get into each line item. I can talk to it. So if you look at,
I'm just wondering if, you know, we haven't had a due increase in a long time, and is it time for that, right? Or,
there's a chart here that'll sum up kind of that.
Okay.
But if we look at this, you see, you know, we're forecasting 6% this year. If we can stretch it to 9.5, which in theory we should have been able to hit 11, almost 11 this year, without the assessment income hit that we took. But it is what it is. But if we can get to 6%, that would be a miracle in and of itself. We perform that well. But 9.5% would be the stretch, I would say. What I say is, you know, doable, but not, you know, a slam dunk. So this one here, the fluctuation, the biggest component obviously is through everything is the gatehouse. I mean, that is our by far the biggest expense we have, with the largest line item being the $140,000 almost we pay for U.S. security for the guards up front. So everything else, you know, we've seen, you know, increases in you can see right here, utilities have been creeping up, you know, and that's a combination of inflationary pressures, you know, especially on the electricity side, as well as with all the, you know, landscaping improvements and reworks and all that. I mean, you have to water that stuff, and that's been hitting us pretty hard the last, you know, 2 years essentially on that.
And is this including the assessment that Duke's assessing us now because of the old technology? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, that's already been factored in.
Okay.
So here's the one, you know, here's our expense category. So this is basically running from 2013 through what we figured is the actual and forecast, the 8+4 for 2018. So you can see, you know, for our compounded annual growth rate, G&A only is about, you know, our overhead is 1%, grounds 1.2, guardhouse. Utilities is up the most, you know, 3.7%. Reserve, this was influenced by, you know, obviously us. There's been 2 steps. I think before I got on the board, it was like 2013, 2014. Steve Jones had worked with the reserve advisors, and that's where we basically overfunded by $20,000 a year.
Okay.
So that, I mean, we're still overfunding on this.
Is that a bad thing though? No. Okay.
Now, when you look at what we're potentially going to be bringing online for new assets that are going to have a depreciable or useful life calculation within there, as well as we have we've always tried to pull ahead where it made sense, things that, you know, you may have 2 or 3 years left on it, but if it makes sense and we have open space within the calendar to do something, pull it ahead, you know,
Right, gotcha.
on that. So now over the same course, your basic inflation for the U.S. over that same time period has been about 8.2%. So we've been under here, but, you know, at some point you're losing steam relative to your purchase power versus the inflation. It's just, you know, at some point it's untenable anymore. And I can tell you from all the other HOAs that, you know, I talked to, not just in Florida but around the country, you know, it's not uncommon for them to have yearly dues increase. I mean, most of them do have
I'm surprised.
a rolling increase.
That's what I'm saying. We haven't had one in a long time.
We're going on 9 years since.
Has it been that long?
Almost, I believe. So, you know, but, you know, we've still maintained as much purchasing power as we can in the face of the inflation. But, you know, especially if things go up, because we're seeing the projects we're doing, you know, concrete's going up, steel, aluminum, all that stuff is, you know, is getting the
concrete's
pressure.
not going away, right? Because we're going to have this again. As long as we have oak trees, we're going to have this issue.
Yeah.
Right, with the concrete.
So.
Yeah,
With the new
that's
tariffs.
Mhm.
Yes.
But on the flip side, we have, you know, as you can see the trend line here running over, you know, the January of 2013 through August of 2018, it was at 5.5 years. You're running up on your cash we're keeping in the bank. So our operating surplus is still going up relative. You know, and if you take out this anomaly here of 577 where we ended on 2015, you know, you've been going from 203 to 196, 260. You know, now we're pushing into 300s, and we should be almost mid 300s
Yes,
by.
yeah.
So why it's going up?
That's just how much money we're retaining.
Yeah, but why the increase? If things are,
Because we're still performing in terms of, we're still maintaining cost controls over stuff like G&A, gatehouse, like, I can tell you.
okay, the big spender.
Yeah, the big
big-
components of it, you know,
Yeah.
because we've rationalized some things, you know, renegotiated some stuff. I know that we, you know, switched vendors on a couple things, and then, you know, obviously I pulled back the Brightview price increase that I told them they weren't gonna get back. They talked to me for 2020.
We're Indian givers.
Yeah. So, but here's like the G&A. So we have a year-over-year reduction of about $2,400. This is driven by, when we redid the budget, a $7K reduction in the legal fees. It went from 20,000 down to 13, just because we I guess you want to say, allocated to legal based upon potential, you know, we were unknown on what the assessment credit would do. So, you know, we didn't spend that much, so
Right.
that's why we pushed it there.
We are paying them like a fixed
We
amount.
pay them
We buy a bucket of
monthly.
hours, right?
We pay $689 a month for their top tier on their Larson Prime, which gives us 10 hours a month and I think 5 covenant or amendment rights, or, you know, and bylaw rights, and then we get no cost on any kind of violation letters that go out from them, you know, so it's whatever we, over and above what we spend. So if you take 689 times 12, you know, you're gonna budget that we're gonna have something come up that's gonna push it over the,
Oh, okay, so this is the overage that we thought we were going to incur and didn't.
yeah, for this
Okay.
in 2018.
Gotcha.
So, but in 2019, you know, you're getting back to, you know, 13,000, about 1,000 a month, a little
Yeah.
over 1,000 a month,
Yeah.
which, bank coupon books, I still wanna talk with Leland and Caliber and the banking people to get this to a point where, you know, I'd like to just distribute them electronically and get out of the
I was
printing
gonna
of the
say, I
damn
can
coupon books.
opt out, if we could even do an opt-out, because honestly, right in the trash, don't
Yeah.
use it at all.
After-
I lose it within a week of every time I get them.
I have it set up at my bank and it just goes, so it literally goes right in the garbage for me, so it is a waste of money on me.
And it's also a privacy issue because your garbage.
Mhm.
Well, I guess I could shred it.
Yeah, but who is shredding?
Yeah.
Show me, please.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't really.
Once a month, you
Yeah.
should.
So let's see, bad debt. Bad debt went up because we calculated it, that's a calculation, that's pretty much standard finance calculation based upon what, at the snapshot in time, your receivables are for late assessments. That's what drove that. This one, for the room rental, it's still $720 a year for the 12 meetings, but it also, I told Bernadette she needs to code the online voting platform into this bucket. I don't want to go through miscellaneous. You match it, I mean, if it's around, you know, that, so that's the other, you know, $750 here.
Okay.
And then the other one here is in terms of management fees. We lowered it because this was at 31,000 and some change for 2018, because we were still paying for 1.5 person Leland people, even though we only used one.
Right.
We just never moved the money out because we always had that as performance area. We're still gonna leave a portion of that in there. So that's about 21,000 or 29,000. And sorry, Nick, I cut your social committee again.
You know, honestly, I expected it.
Yeah.
I saw it coming.
First to go.
What can I say? I'm a true finance person.
Yeah.
I'm not angry, it's okay.
But I mean, overall, the 75 grand versus 73 grand, you're keeping this is what you really call the overhead, non-value add stuff down. So, I mean, that's pretty good there. Next one, in the grounds, Brightview, they didn't get their money back, so they're at 53,000. Sod seed and
So,
grass.
I mean, are we gonna try to do something for them next year, or are we gonna wait?
I told John he'd call me in October next year. We can talk about it.
Okay, so then it would really probably be
Yeah,
for 2020,
20,
really,
yeah.
okay.
Let's see, sod seed and grass we've lowered because most of this is usually where we would book any kind of replacement sod, and usually that's like at a pallet, and if we pay $375 for a pallet, anything over that, if we get 4 or 5 pallets, that's probably associated with a project which is gonna be pushed into reserves. So there's no reason to keep heavy with $1,500 because we don't use that much sod during the
Right.
year. Annuals was at 2,000, and we'll keep it at 2,000 because we did add the 343 new annuals in the median area.
Oh, but wait, so like if we needed some sod for some of the changes that we're doing in the rec area, that would come out of that budget and not landscape, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about if like hurricane or something happens?
That, I mean, if you've got widespread, then you're probably replacing anything more than like 3 pallets is gonna be a reserve item.
Reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This is more for the ones, like at the dry pond in Boca, if it needed a replacement, that usually is about 3/4 of a pallet, and then they'll find where they can put the other quarter of a pallet, and that would go into here. Now, if we
Okay.
redid the whole thing, we needed 4 pallets, that's part of the project, which would then be into
This
reserves.
is just regular maintenance kind of stuff, okay?
Yeah, this is like one-off replacements.
Okay.
Tree trim removal and replacement was 8,000, lowered that to 3,500. Since we do the tree trimming yearly as a project, and that gets booked against reserves for the proactive maintenance component, this would be for any, like the large, when you come in on Water's Edge, you see that one palm that's dead on the right side? That would be booked against this for removal. So it's gonna be
Okay.
$550 to remove that palm and get it out.
Okay.
It would also be for if we have work baskets, 7 or 8 requests come in, we work basket, it's usually about $1,000 for a half a day worth of work, or, roundabouts 800. That's where this gets booked. Anything on the larger scale, that gets booked into reserves.
The liability that we did with the playground, where does that get booked under? You know how we do the reports?
Playground repairs and maintenance.
Oh, that falls into that?
6820, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's $400. It's
You're
in-
overachieving.
Yeah.
To bed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that one, it just wasn't material enough. It's not like the reserve study
Yeah.
that's like, 5,000 that
Oh,
we
okay.
amortize. And actually, that was 400 because it was the first year. Since we do it every year after, I think it's $175. And considering that we don't really have too much, we didn't have anything major that needed repair in there. That's for the one-off stuff. We lose the swing set in a hurricane, we gotta put one in, that goes to the reserve recreation.
Okay.
Wall and fence repairs, maintenance, of course, we lowered it after we got hit with the guy bee. But that's for the, small stuff. Again, all this stuff is just small, one-off stuff. We're not looking, anything major is gonna be, project-based, going in there, it's adding useful life into an existing asset, so it should be classified in reserves. Routine infrastructure and maintenance, that's always the plug account. So we had lowered that from 26,000 and some change. In the amended budget, we dropped it to 19,000. Leave it at 20,000 on the proposed budget. And what we do is, at the end of the year, whatever's left in that account favorable gets transferred into reserves. So we're kind of overfunding reserves again to keep, pushing it up. And I think last year we pushed in about 17,500 on top of the 91,500 that we put in. So we've been contributing to reserves at a pretty furious clip to maintain and make sure that is, fully robust for all the stuff we have going.
Well, and that allows us to do the hurricane cleanup and not wait for the county and.
Yeah, that kind of stuff
Yeah.
is,
Okay.
it's critical to have that kind of funding available
I
on
agree.
that. Oops, there we go, gatehouse. We got an overall reduction of about $2,000. We dropped the reduction in the camera surveillance account because this basically is the, if we need a camera, but most of the cameras are $597 and they have a useful life anywhere from, 16 to 21 months. That gets put into reserves on the perimeter security reserve account. So it didn't make sense to keep this there if we weren't using it. And anything else would be covered, like Lincoln and PC Geeks is under the Guardhouse hardware software. They're $300 a month, $3,600. There's no price increase from them. The Guardhouse, the AC service agreement was $200. We were paying $200 for some reason and we never used it, so we just got rid of it. If we need the AC unit repaired, we'll get somebody out on a service call, or we'll probably just end up replacing it since it's so damn old.
Is it like split or wall?
Wall, it's
So 200 for that?
for the service agreement for whatever extended warranty or whatever. I don't know, but it's long past its due. It needed to go away.
So what is the percentage, how much we are spending, like percentage-wise, from our budget on security?
Let's see. So you want security? You want the whole gatehouse?
No, the whole security, like the 178 or
Security as a
176.
whole.
Yeah.
34.9%.
Is that's cameras, security
Guards,
guard, all
Police
that?
patrol, electricity for the gatehouse, internet for the gatehouse, that's the whole hut up there basically. And the gate monitoring falls in there, that's 75
Well,
bucks a
that's our
month.
biggest thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, by
So-
far.
Is it, this is the usual percentage in other?
Yeah, if you have a manned gatehouse.
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, this is pretty normal. And that's,
Well, I mean, the
Unless-
guard itself, that was over $100,000 just.
it's 147, it's 147,000
Right.
for the guards.
And you can compare it to to Phillips Landing because they have number of houses much more
Mhm.
than us, but the same gate and the same security.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
they have the same the same way to execute it, but they
Yeah.
have a broad, they probably pull in more revenue because they have, what, 2 times as many houses as Toro?
More.
More, I mean,
Yeah, they've got a lot.
yeah, now I don't know their dues level or anything like that, but
They got condos,
Mm.
right? They got, and all
They have
kinds of
everything.
houses,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, I can tell you from the rotation, if you're just looking at pure security services, you're gonna pay between, 147, 150,000, no matter if you go with US Security, Allied, whatever.
For a man,
Yeah,
for
for
a
the
man
man.
gate,
For a man.
24/7.
Yeah.
I just think I get away from that, right?
Yeah. I mean, nothing we can do with that, so.
But it's interesting that it's 30-some percent, right?
Yeah.
I would think it would be higher than that, so.
Really, I
yeah.
thought it's like
Mhm.
15.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it'd be higher. Because it's our biggest, I would think it would be our
That's our-
biggest.
Yeah, because we are a small community and we have a proper like
Yeah.
security
Mhm,
system.
yes.
Mhm.
I'm very comfortable with our security, with
The perimeter.
all of our cameras and everything that we've done. It's been done correctly, in my opinion.
And they all work. Before, I mean, it was a nightmare
Yeah.
when Mike
Yeah.
Velocity was still working on that. I mean, nothing ever worked right. And now Lincoln is, I mean, he's
Yeah.
pretty much got that tuned.
It was leaking
Well, that
from
was kind of
every-
like,
Yeah.
that was kind of like my home security. Now I got, my stuff's working.
Really?
Yeah, it's working good. It's very solid.
That's good.
Yeah.
Concerned with that?
Let's see, utilities, we had a year-over-year increase of $7,000. This is, partly attributable to the higher, what I call energy costs, because that's where it gets booked for the street lamps.
Okay.
When they
Yeah.
put in the fixtures, it's all right on it's on the same invoice. They commingle your rental and your electricity all in one. And then irrigation, it's been up, and I don't forecast it's really gonna go back to, $4,000.
Did you can increase their fees?
Well, when we did when we were
No,
replacing.
no, this year, they are not yet.
No,
But they're charging us an assessment if we don't update that, right? We're gonna get a premium fee
yeah.
if we don't update.
But I can tell you, even though we're paying higher on the fixture rental, they dropped by 30% what they charge for electricity since we're moving to LED.
LED. Okay.
Because that's mandated by the state, they can only charge for so many hours at such a rate for LED street fixtures. Let's see, reserves, that's where I mentioned, we went up 8,500 on the pooled reserves, the core category. And then whatever we put in from routine infrastructure and maintenance bumps that up even more. So that's a combination of, basically what the reserve report said, and then looking at the new assets at the recreation area. I mean, you gotta make the reserve investment to fully make sure if they need to be
It's
replaced.
overdue for
Yeah.
that, so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's time.
So, but that in a nutshell takes us through. We won't have a dues or assessment level increase or change this year. So
You don't think so?
No, we should be all right for this
Okay.
year. We'll see how things play out for next year. If we continue to have significant inflationary pressures on, the commodity pieces of it, especially on the energy side of it, and all of our projects are costing more that we use concrete or anything else for. I mean, that's something away for the 2020 time period.
Yeah.
So,
We're lucky we didn't get hit by that hurricane. The one that went up north.
Yeah.
Well, they're unlucky, but,
Yeah, there can,
yeah. It looks pretty bad up there.
yeah, that could happen to us, for
Mhm.
sure.
status reports. ARB had nothing. And I didn't see anything on the calendar. I don't think there was any.
No, we do
There
we
is-
do have a request. It
Yeah.
just came in. though.
Okay,
It's
so
just- yeah.
we'll have something for next month.
Next month, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question. There's like a trash container huge one
Mhm.
for construction on Emerald Case?
Oh, yeah, and the
That's for,
entrance.
that's for the sidewalk guys.
Oh, okay, so okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought
these
it's a
sidewalk
house.
guys
Yeah.
are a piece. Have you seen that
Okay.
car, the Pinto?
Because I didn't
Yeah.
see
With
any
the guy
first
in the
part.
back?
Yeah.
It's
But
funny.
because it was in Avalon, and they've removed most of the concrete out of Avalon, and they've
Okay.
been doing the root mitigation,
Okay.
cutting them out, and then they moved it into Waters, and I think that's where they're going next.
Because I thought it's the house.
Yeah, no.
Maintenance,
No,
and I
it's-
didn't see
yeah.
any request. And this guy who, the house which was in bad condition from outside,
Yeah, where he leveled all of them except a couple like pillars that are left.
yeah?
The one right on the
Yeah.
Little Fish Lake, yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah, he's gonna have, him, that construction, and then the new home construction are gonna be competing for dumpsters and everything else. I know they get 5 cement trucks a day coming in between the two, the mixers coming in.
Is that an impact on roads?
No, they're rated for that, they're more
Okay.
fine on that, than that with their shock system on that.
So are we monitoring that big trucks coming into our neighborhood like we discussed last time? That we
Mhm.
should know what they're doing where, because if there is some unauthorized construction or work being done on
Yeah.
a property at least.
The guards do that. They keep track of it, they're coded separately on the intake sheets now, so we can pull that if we need to. But I will say 99% of all that has been attributable to those 2 homes that are under construction on Water's Edge, as well as,
Are you seeing a lot of them pass by your
Yeah,
house? Is
yeah,
that what it's-
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
They are
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
And they're loud.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it, it's like
yeah,
part of our,
Life,
we are neighbors,
yeah.
so, but at least we should know that it's nothing illegal like what happened
Mhm.
before.
Yeah.
And the house which needed paint from outside and they didn't have the funds for it. Huh?
Paint from outside, I'm trying to
Paint.
Oh,
recall.
wasn't that in Boca?
Boca,
Oh,
it
yeah,
was in
that.
Boca,
I think it was in Boca, yeah.
Yeah, that-
So
Funds.
I mean,
I don't
what
know about
happened?
it.
Well, I mean, basically, we had put I guess a freeze on the violation, like we usually do, if a homeowner reaches out with I guess, a circumstance. But it's moving forward. I mean, no one has contacted Leland or the board with any kind of actionable plan, or any kind of timeline or
It's been
anything.
released,
Yeah.
then we're proceeding.
So you'll get the normal, I guess they've already got violation 1, maybe 2, and
So
then
if it
3.
is just a power wash, maybe we can help them, kind of.
I know the
Be careful
background
with
on
that.
this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we gotta be careful.
I've been dealing with
We
that
help
for a
one, we
while.
gotta help other, you know what I mean? It's like, gotta be careful.
For
I
our
know.
neighbors, we.
I hear
should
you,
help.
but when you do one, then somebody else says, will you help them? So why don't you?
No,
Well,
not on the
If we
personal-
as individuals want
Yeah.
to go and
Yeah,
help,
exactly. The
we
more
can.
involved
I
you are as a
can't
community.
give them a power wash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Lou's got one too.
So
You
if
can
they,
go over and do it for
and
me.
she
You
said
can
her
go.
husband is there.
My spare time?
No, if the
Yeah.
husband wants to do it, I can give him my
Yeah.
power wash machine, on a
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
level, not.
You come to
Yeah.
my house if you got that too.
Yeah.
I can
Do
give it to you.
You can do it.
Let's see.
Mike, what are they doing with all that concrete from the sidewalk?
They're hauling it off and dumping it.
Wasn't it last year they dumped in one of the dry ponds and it led to a lot of problems, complaints?
No, that was 3 years ago, and that was based on a recommendation that the previous board had, from a homeowner, had said this would help with the drainage, and that has not been the case. And that subsequently, we're working to get a plan together. We're gonna take all that out and then fix it the right way this time.
But this concrete is gonna be removed off property by the contractor?
Yes, they've already removed the
Isn't
first.
that what the dumpsters are for? Is
Yeah,
that-
they've already removed one of them. I mean, all the concrete from the Avalon stuff has been taken off site and removed. No, it's not being repurposed for anything. We don't have any use for it.
They repurpose it. though.
Yes, yeah, they take, I mean, wherever they dump it or
They'll recycle it.
recycle, do whatever they want, it just just get it off site.
yeah.
Once it leaves the gate, I don't really care. Social committee, we'll get into that, Nick.
Okay.
Nick put together The send out, we can look at the draft and then agree on a
Cards.
date,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Halloween?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's time, right?
Yeah.
It is
It's,
time.
we're getting close to it, yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. I know some people that are gearing up for the contest.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
Starting
The,
to
the only
decorate.
problem is
Sure.
that the consistent rain is gonna be such a, if we can't get out of this rain stuff, it's gonna be a
Exactly.
downer trying to put anything out.
Yeah.
But,
Is there a way we can make it more like interesting for the people to participate?
Do we have $1 million? No, that'll get people to participate.
I'm open to suggestions, I don't know. What
No,
are your
yeah, I
thoughts?
mean, if you can think of something to get more people in, I mean, I know a lot of people from when I did the, from when we were walking, when I was doing my judging last year, and I was just going around, a lot of people were like, hi, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm judging the house. And they're like, oh, okay, that's so great. Yeah, we've got our house. Did you go by our house? I'm like, yes, I went by your house. People are proud of doing it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
I like
afraid that they will
doing it.
lose interest after a couple of years when.
I know, right? Maybe
Yeah.
we
Give
should
them
have a
Give
Halloween
them a
party
free
or
quarter,
something.
but they don't have to pay their dues for a quarter or something.
Yeah, well,
$300
I'm not gonna get
Maybe.
yeah, it's just,
Yeah, it doesn't cost anything really.
No.
It's insignificant.
yeah, I mean, I know that we definitely, once whoever the winners are, we put their home on the, on Twitter and everything, that we could definitely, on social media, try and be a little more proactive.
Yeah.
Maybe get a little bit more enthusiasm through social media. That's
Or
fair.
just post more pictures, like each of the.
Yeah,
houses,
yeah.
Well, but I mean, do we want to, because right now we just give what, $100 gift card and a $50 gift
50.
card?
100 for overall, 50s for,
Do
Or
we
you do
want to talk
100
about
each,
maybe a
150?
quarter?
well,
Could we do that?
I mean, this idea just came to me. What if we do that we would allow all the residents to participate into voting, not the committee?
where
I
would
mean, if
we,
we put the
where would
photos
we-
online,
Oh.
where would we get people
And
to
let them
submit
choose.
their votes?
Online,
but on,
website?
on
Yeah,
Twitter
yeah.
or on Instagram.
Yeah, from a website perspective, what's the
We could do
complexity of it?
voting on our
I can
website.
do anything. We
Yeah,
can do
so-
it. I
so
can-
people
I
could-
can have it, I can have something stood up in probably 24, 48 hours with that, as long as we get the pictures, but we have to, then we're gonna have to change the timeline then to say, okay, you have to have everything, I guess, your design or your decorations locked in by X date, because we're gonna be taking pictures, and then your voting is open from, this
Yeah.
time to this time.
Will it, now here's another thing. Would it be unfair for larger homes versus smaller homes? Because some will have more residents that could go in and vote versus,
But if you're doing it by,
you mean by like one,
you have
One
to vote
home has
for
one vote?
one overall, you're the best overall, and
Just
then
like
you have,
we do,
you know,
one overall.
and the best in Water's Edge, and the
Yeah.
best in Boca, and the best in Avalon.
Yeah.
well, I'm saying like if
But I
I
think-
voted and then my mother and my father and then,
Well,
like
one
how
per
many
house.
people per home could obviously?
One per
One.
home, just like
Okay.
we do now.
That's what I'm saying, if we could
But
do
the
that.
picture thing, some people decorate, and I know in Boca they had this, and they decorated, it was really nice, but it wasn't very good at night, but it looked really good during the day.
Yeah,
So you're gonna have to watch with you do that
So
photo.
maybe they need to submit their photos or video.
Yeah, we're gonna get half and half on that. Some people do it, some people won't.
Okay, so
I could use a new 12 megapixel camera on my new iPhone.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Mike could go
Yeah.
with his new slam an iPhone. Be lucky if
Um,
it works. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Ouch.
we could,
No, that would be Microsoft, sorry.
Exactly, yes. Right, totally.
So if we did that, I'm thinking in my head, designing it in my head on the website.
I'm also thinking about, we need to have the demand of making sure enough people actually do vote. Like, if someone wins by 3 votes.
This
you know,
also
like-
will bring traffic to our site.
Well, we do it now
Also
anyway,
shows-
so if it's just us
Yeah.
and nobody else does, we'd still have our vote. You see what
I guess
mean?
that's
Yeah.
true, yeah, that we'll still be obligated to vote. you
Yeah,
know,
the board would still, we
Yeah.
would all do it.
So that we at least still get our opinion.
Well, I mean, we can do a combo of that, as well as, I think you bump what the gift cards level is, from 50 to.
If my
100.
budget allows for it, looks like we
Yeah,
just.
looks like we just
Looks
cut
like
the
I just
budget.
happen to be cut for.
I think you'll be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so you do basically, 100 apiece for the subs, and then what, on 150 for the overall? I mean, with that combination, plus, you know, the community-wide website voting, I think that'll be a kind of a new slant on it, where we've done this for, what, 2 years now? 2 years?
Yeah, has it two?
Two? Something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
Two, I think
third
at
year.
least
Yes,
two.
yeah,
Third year.
this will be the third, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, so,
Do we have any anniversary like of our community next year?
April 16th.
What?
April 16th.
Is what, after tax day is what?
Is when the,
No, which year?
95,
Okay, so.
that's when the actual incorporation with the HOA Incorporated was set up by Gallimore.
I thought maybe because this is anniversary we couldn't, but.
Yeah, maybe we should like have a party whenever that hits a milestone number.
So, okay, but,
Because I think an outdoor, gathering would be nice too.
and
Voting
then we still have the
day,
food
you know.
truck thing too.
Yeah,
Oh,
they-
yeah. It would be
nice to
that
put
rep
the
is just
combina-
on hold, so.
It would be nice to have the food trucks with the holiday
Yeah.
thing to announce the winners, and you got the food trucks and kind of make it
Yeah.
an end of year holiday.
And maybe
thing.
also,
Good man.
I mean, I'm trying to remember in celebration what we were doing on Halloween night. Normally, every neighborhood villages they have.
Mhm.
They have their one dedicated house. They have a big party in that
Yeah.
house
Yeah.
on Halloween night. So maybe we do the party with the
That'll
food
be your
truck.
house?
No, the tennis
Are you-
court.
are you volunteering?
I'm ready. My wife maybe
You're
will
right,
object.
yeah.
I'm happy to do it. Food truck with and then all the kids dressed
Well,
up,
maybe
music.
maybe we should wait and do that next year when the rec area is all done.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe when
Yeah.
when we've refurbished. Yeah, because a food truck on Halloween night wouldn't be bad. I mean,
Well, we
because
could do
everyone's
that,
out and
then that
about
would be
anyway.
social.
you
On
know?
Halloween night.
Yeah, everyone's out and about.
Yeah.
Everyone's walking around. It's a
So
perfect time
and the
to do it,
kids and the music and
Mhm.
You know,
what do you think?
Do a Halloween, I think it's a great idea.
All right.
we could even ask
Is
the
that
food
your
truck people to
calendar?
give out candy.
Yeah.
Dude.
Please. Oh, this is my customer's computer. So
Oh, okay.
these are all my meetings with them.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Oh, you don't look busy.
Don't mind.
Yeah.
Don't mind the man behind the curtain there. If we look over here, let's figure out some dates then while we're talking about it.
Okay.
So if we got October, let's say if we can shoot for getting the cards to Leland by the 1st. I think we had talked about that for send out.
Well, yeah, for send out.
And then I'll queue them up to be ready for those because somebody will have to receive them in the Lake Gloria address because Maria doesn't work out of that office and neither does Kent. So I'll have what's her face, Melinda do it
Okay.
for us.
I mean, I don't
Do
mind
we need
going
to
up
drop
and
it
doing
off?
something. Yeah, we can.
Well, it has to go to their mailroom, but they need somebody to put all the stickies on, and they can do that because they'll run the
Okay.
labels there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if we say we want to have,
A week of voting, maybe?
yeah, I mean, we
Oh,
would
I
probably
know,
want
a
to
week
target.
When is which day is Halloween?
It's a Wednesday.
A
Wednesday. Oh.
That's all right.
You're not a Wednesday guy, you know?
I mean, we
Well,
can
it's
do
definitely not like
22nd
a
to
party
31st.
night, but
Mhm.
still, it's a
Yeah,
school night.
yeah, but and it is like a family oriented, like kids
Yeah.
and so
Right,
on. So it's
exactly.
not like it's maybe the party
When
starts.
it's on a Friday night, then it'll be more adult, but
More
this
adult,
time
but
it's
yeah,
just
it's
a
a family.
Wednesday and that's fine.
Anyway, the
And
kids
the
will-
board has to dress up and walk around.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Come on, get into
Yeah,
this.
no, we're fine.
I mean, you never do anything for Halloween, Jesus, you know?
I mean, we can have open voting for 22nd to the 31st. That'll be more than a week. Monday through Wednesday.
31st?
Yeah,
So
can you have it
unless
ready
you want to do 7
though,
days.
Mike? I mean,
Well, he's
well,
got.
let's say to
he's got
the
about a month.
30th, right?
To the
And
30th,
then-
and then we
30th,
announce
yeah.
on Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I
Okay.
didn't think of that.
Because then we can hand out the cards on Halloween as we walk around
Yes.
the houses.
Right,
As the
okay.
board can do that.
That's
So
good, yeah.
if that's the case, then we need to
That's
have
true.
pictures. We need to take pictures then on Saturday, the 20th.
And-
Because then we can start loading them.
Wait.
I can load them the 21st to get them out there, as long as we can get the template built by a cutoff around the 17th. And then the voting starts at, let's say, 5 p.m. to give me a little extra wiggle room time on the 22nd and runs through 11:59 p.m. on the 30th.
So decorations need to be done. I don't have my glasses on.
No,
By
no,
that
if
Saturday,
we
by that
If we
Saturday.
take photos though, what's
Can
gonna?
you say that Sunday? Because that gives them the weekend.
Well, I'm
Right.
just looking for how long, I've got lead time to get them loaded.
And I'm thinking though, if we do photos, what's gonna stop a homeowner from saying, well, you took a bad photo of our house, that's why we lost?
Okay, well, whatever, then
We
we'll give
can write,
$100.
please visit, go
it-
around,
I
walk
mean,
around,
do we wanna
and
do
judge by
photos in
yourself.
that case?
Photos are
Right.
not a good
We have to, I
presentation.
mean, some people might not wanna walk around, and they might wanna look at that. I'll have Tom Slade draw up a disclaimer, so they don't
Okay,
offend
yeah.
anyone.
Yeah,
So we'll have 10:20 as the photos,
So
and then
wonderful.
Yeah.
10:22 through 10:30 is the voting.
voting, yeah.
And then 10:31, we announce and
The
hand out
winners.
the cards. And
Yeah.
then, we got 10:1 is the card,
The cards will be sent out, yeah.
cards to Leland,
Um,
and then mailed,
Yeah, this will be good. This will send people to the website too.
Yes.
For people that
Traffic.
have maybe never been to the website, it might be a
Exactly.
good point of.
And a Twitter account. We
Mhm.
have Instagram?
No, I don't
we
think so.
don't.
No.
We can.
We,
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so-
easy to set up.
Yeah,
right?
it's
Just
like-
go in.
And you can do it like anything goes to Instagram, goes to Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, the only thing I never liked when you post to Instagram and goes to Twitter, it always truncates it into a smaller thing, so you never really know
The
what the
size?
topic is.
Ah, the
Because
topic.
it gives you it makes it the short, link to fit into the Twitter, whatever.
But I think this is good. Yeah, it'll definitely send people to the website, and hopefully we'll get an increase after Halloween. You know. with some
Okay,
more
and so
people signing up.
then, so we're gonna try to do food trucks then in the rec area, is that what we're gonna do?
I have that guy, that rep on standby. He is more than welcome to. I explained the process before. We basically tell them our needs, and they send it out, and then it's approved. Like that's how it goes. They just approve the budget back and forth, and then they take care of it from
most
there.
people are having Halloween stuff at their houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know that we need food
I-
trucks or
I don't think
maybe candy or something.
food truck would be something maybe next year. I think
Yeah.
with these kind of changes,
I agree.
we're gonna be pushed to do it as it is.
Yeah.
So what do we?
So we're not gonna do a social at the rec area?
Yeah,
Not-
it'd be nice to
not
do
for
it when we
Halloween.
have the new. The
Not
new
for
park
Halloween.
built.
I think that would be,
For
if we could
Halloween.
look at it for the holiday decorating at the end of the year, because we should have most of the stuff done by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Right,
at the rec
yes,
area.
yeah,
For the
yeah.
winter
And I
holidays.
think that would be a better one, because I don't wanna try to cram everything into Halloween, and then we kinda go out with a fizzle, with just.
That's on a Wednesday,
Yeah.
too, right? On school
And then
night.
let's see when.
Unless you wanna host a party and text your wife, ask her if
Yeah.
she's good with that.
Texting is not, it's face
It would be
to
fun for
face.
people, don't worry about it.
Yeah, that needs to be face to face. So you'd be yelled
I have
at
to
in
wear a
person.
Yeah, so that's fine. Yeah, we don't have to do food trucks for this, but I've still got that rep on
Yeah.
hold for whenever we're
Yeah,
ready.
well, let's see what kind of engagement we get out of these changes
Yeah.
that we're making
Yeah.
on that. So, and then if that is the case, then we can amp it up with food trucks and maybe take it
And so what's the prizes? What do we decide?
100 a sub, and then 150 overall.
100 for 3, 150 for overall. Yeah, I can
And
make
what
those
is,
changes.
and what are those gift cards?
They're
Visas.
visas. Yeah, you can
Oh,
spend them
okay,
however you
perfect.
want.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good, okay.
Or I'll buy something only I would use. Oh, if you don't want it, I'll give you 50 cents on the dollar
Right,
for it, you know.
Right.
Or you just, whatever they have, I got you $150 at a Wendy's. There you go.
Oh god, yeah.
So, okay,
An
well,
IHOP.
that's good.
Well, it would only be one meal at BurgerFi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I had that for lunch today. So if we look at, let's skip ahead here. So this is what Nick put together for the,
Nice.
Yeah,
That
just
looks
very
good,
basic.
Nick,
Yeah.
so now we're gonna have to change this, online judging.
Yep, we'll do
Vote
online
for your
judging.
favorite house, some kind of tagline here. Judging, okay, we're gonna just have to lock it in for the 22nd through the 30th, and then winner announced on.
Online voting.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll put the website underneath as well, because in case someone's never been to the website, you might want to
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
someone may be like online voting. Where online? Facebook? You're gonna
Yeah,
have
like
someone
all
that's gonna
neighbors that
question
the whole
it.
community votes.
Someone votes on Nextdoor,
Twitter.
So, all right, so, but I like the design, it looks cool.
I do too,
Yeah.
yeah. It looks
It's-
good. I like our logo at the bottom like
Yeah.
that, that's cool.
So I've designed it so it's 4 of these postcards per page size. So
Okay, good.
when we bring it, they just cut it in 4. It's a better alternative, saves us
Mhm.
a lot of money. And I know Leland said last year they want to use the back for their federal postage or whatever, the
Yeah,
stamps.
they run
And it
them
used to
through.
go over the design. So we're just gonna keep the back blank,
Yeah.
another extra cost that we just
Yeah.
don't need. Now we're not double printing, so, I mean, yeah, I made this like, let's
No,
save
that
as
works
much money
out
as we
good.
can with these cards, so.
Yeah.
Is it too small?
No, I mean, if we
Maybe
have a piece
half?
of paper, we can,
It's a quarter of a page.
it's like what we had,
8 by,
Yeah, it's a quarter of a
8.5
page.
by 11,
Yeah,
right?
it's gonna be a
Quarter.
standard postcard size almost.
yeah, we
Oh,
had
right.
them last year. I mean, they're
Standard is 4 by
about
6.
that. They're about that. They're pretty,
Yeah,
They're
what I
just-
would consider just regular
Quarter
mail.
by 5.5.
if I do them half of a page, they're
The
gonna be
postcard
about
is 4 by
that.
6,
And I thought
yeah.
that was a little too big,
4.25 by
you
5.5.
know?
Because
The-
it's 4 per 8.5 by 11 page.
Right.
Ah, okay.
He's doing the math for you, so he's
Okay.
giving you
Yeah.
his size.
You're a good man.
Is that including the margin?
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, so, okay.
Infrastructure, where are we?
All right, so you can flip those.
Yeah, I'll make those
give
changes.
Leland a call tomorrow to prep and make sure they're ready for these to show up
Yep.
there and who to direct them to,
Yep.
and then they can get them into their queue.
I'll start designing it, probably get another draft out to everyone so we can review, finalize
Mm-hmm.
within the next day or two.
Perfect. So, okay, good stuff. Last update here, infrastructure and access control. I think we talked about the sidewalk project. Rear pond fountain failure on 9/10.
Really?
Again? Wow.
Start relay
Shocker.
failure.
Shocked.
Start relay failure on it, issue was resolved, it was $200 fix, the run's
Okay.
fine now.
That's fine.
Tennis court, I talked about the tennis court replacement, the exit gate sign, we received it, it was damaged. So they brought it over to me and showed it to me.
Really?
It was not, let's just say the damage was very noticeable, like, I don't know, you took a baseball bat and hit,
Like they couldn't
Oh,
look
no.
at it before they delivered it, right?
well, it was in the box.
They dropped it down the staircase. before
Whatever,
they
so
delivered it.
it's got a rush order, we're looking at, we're a week out from the next one in.
And this is the standard letters, because we still haven't really found
Yeah.
something on the LED.
Not
Yeah,
LED.
we put that on hold
Yeah.
for now, we'll figure that out later, so.
Okay.
Rec program, the new water fountain is installed and working, new basketball hoops have been
They
completed
look
and put up.
nice. Very nice.
That's good. Access control, I sent this out late on the 18th as I was working through this. Wendorf Pools driver, he damaged multiple areas in the community on 918. He hit a mailbox in Water's Edge, took that out. He ran over the sidewalk on the Avalon where the sign is, and then came across, hit the new Arbicola we just put in the center median, and then fully rammed the gate on that. So we do have the exit gate. Alden was out same day to get it because they had to, I guess, get that thing working again. It is working. It's got about it's off center by about that much. It's about, right now we're at $3,800 worth of damage. Told them to come back out and look at the motors because
Just on the gate.
just on the gate. I haven't, Brightview's
You got
gonna
the
give me the
mailbox
new,
and the-
and the mailbox, I can tell you, is probably about $375.
Okay.
And then whoever can install it, because I know the lady who lives there, it's not like she's gonna install it, and nor should she.
Yeah.
I was in contact with Tom Slayton at Larson today. He has all the information. He is sending a letter of demand to the pool vendor for their insurance information. Once we get all the claims, he said we'll get paid on this.
Okay.
But in the interim, I mean, it was just kind of, notwithstanding the damage.
Just a headache.
Well, I mean, if anybody was out walking or anything when this person was,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you saw in the video from the roundabout, it
Oh, we
didn't
didn't.
even stop at the, well, shit.
What video?
Yeah.
I thought it was
You're
just
lucky
me
we're
because I was
Get
in my
Apple,
first
why don't I
side.
hear it?
He ran the stop sign at Waters, and that's when he came around, and I mean, there was nobody out, thank God. Like the
Right,
kids
yeah.
were getting dropped off the bus. I mean, I don't know what was going on, but we're also looking to bar the vendor from coming back into the community.
Okay.
They only do one home in here, so. I don't know what he was on, but, yeah, that was
That would be appropriate.
it took up a fair amount of time dealing with that so far. So,
Yeah, sure.
other than that, the other access control thing, Alan had given us a list of things. We're about halfway through that list now. Nick,
Yeah.
he's got the two new boards in for their, the peg board. We got rid of some of the larger stuff in the corral. We got them their various supplies that they didn't have. The rest should be in hopefully by the end of next week, and then that list will be closed.
Yeah,
and get
because
some
Alan
reset.
asks me every time.
Yeah.
He's, every time he's like, so how's it going with those supplies? And I'm like, I'll look at it. Every time, I'll look at it, see what's going on,
Right.
even though I know we're just.
I don't like the one-off stuff, and plus we got a few other issues that are.
Yeah, well, that's what I told him, is that we've got so much on our plate, but we'll get to it eventually. He's like, okay, eventually is good.
Yeah, well,
He's a
it's,
good guy.
He's a
it's
good
getting
guy.
there.
He's a keeper.
Yeah.
Okay, so continuing business here. We already talked about this.
Oh, back to this.
It's back again. Next, the bike rack replacement. So, here's our current bike racks.
The squiggle.
You know, like that.
They
And
call that
then
the squiggle.
these are the replacement options. These are pretty common and popular here.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is, I just thought that was cool.
That's
The
cool
kind of
too,
screw.
yeah.
But something more updated design than I went to grade school in 1988 over here.
No kidding.
So if we replace the bike rack with a cement pad, and we'll talk about the brick pavers in a minute, we're estimating the cost between $500 to $1,100, including the cement pad. for
Okay.
this. And we'll probably get something, and we're gonna put it in a dedicated spot over here. So you'll,
Okay.
one, free up a space,
Yeah.
another space for a
Parking
vehicle.
spot,
Yes.
And two, if somebody parks here, which I usually do, you can't put a bike
No.
in
yeah,
there like
silly,
that.
Yeah.
So we'll have a dedicated, we have enough real estate right here, because it could be in the
That's
shade,
perfect.
when
Mhm.
people can
Yep.
put their bike in.
Yep.
Can
That'd be
even
cool.
do it on the other side of that sea of palm tree, or pine
Yeah, that's
trees
kind of
over
far
there.
away though. I like, people, the
Yeah,
kids can
that's
ride their
true.
bike up here. Like, when I was playing basketball, this teenager and growing up, her little brother, they parked right here and then they went right to the playground.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So we'll put them over here
Yeah.
and that. So, I'll have the final quotes and everything on these options.
Either one of those are fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, they hold the same number of bikes.
This is the idea that I came up with. I don't know how late it was when I was thinking of this. But I'm thinking, if we do something where we're doing all this, why don't we offer the homeowners, get your own personalized brick program, like they do at every university that
Right.
Yep.
I just got hit up again from one of my alma maters to buy more
Yeah.
bricks.
Buy
I
a
don't know, I
brick,
built a
yeah.
whole damn house there, but, basically, I was talking to this thing called Brick Markers USA. We have no money out of pocket, no minimum order quantity, free shipping. They create an actual website that you can load to send people to. You can process it, and
Okay.
their order. They have a lifetime warranty on the bricks. So here's an example, and they're sending actually a physical sample to me on this.
Can they do the
Yep.
shield, the Turtle Creek? Yeah, okay.
And then we changed the design.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the shield, no,
Yeah.
the shield.
Well,
would be,
then
you
it's a
know,
time capsule.
Yeah.
Then.
But if you look at some of the places they did,
Yeah, we
University
should
of
put the year on
Alabama.
there for sure.
Yeah, a year would be
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
University of Alabama here, and they've got like 16 different colors. We can offer them in 2 sizes at different price points, and even if 25%.
Where are we putting this? Where are you thinking?
Probably where the bike rack would be, or.
So
over-
substitute bricks for where the bike rack
Or
is?
we have it over by the, like the water fountain. Something, where we can figure it out, and I guess it just depends on how many people subscribe to it.
Yeah.
Or you can actually remove.
How much are we
some-
talking about of paver?
You're looking at probably, we'll sell it for either 50 or $100.
Okay.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just throwing it
Yeah,
out
because
there.
one of the things that I was actually thinking of, being somebody who uses that area,
Mhm.
it would be nice to have a walkway to the picnic table,
Okay.
right? So I was just thinking it'd be a little pathway, then to walk through the grass or whatever, so that might be an idea of we do.
And so there's no minimum order quantity, so if in every year we want to send out to the homeowners again, hey, do you want to buy this
You
year's
can run
brick?
it, you can run it annually, it
Or
doesn't matter.
for new owners?
I would buy one, I would definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's to
I
contribute.
got 3 of them over at Disney.
There you go. Yeah, I actually referenced Disney.
$475 a pop.
Nice.
Wow.
Dang, where is it?
I
It's
don't
right
remember.
by-
Well,
I was gonna
probably
pull all those
mention-
papers up now.
They built a restroom on top of it.
Yeah.
You'd have to sell enough of those to make a walkway though, before you could even set them down, right?
Well, but you wouldn't be building the entire walkway.
But even if you get 10 people by it, it's not gonna be enough to,
And then you would just I guess, reshuffle and redesign where you're gonna put these.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, kind of like, yeah, you could do like start around the water fountain and then if it grows.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Yeah.
get 500 of them, then yeah, but if you get 50 of them, or you could even take bricks, if you get 20 of them, take 20 bricks out of the current walkway that goes to the one
Yeah,
paver
you
thing,
can.
and just replace them and put them in there.
Yeah,
And
it would
then
just
we'll-
be, it would be nice if we keep the idea that this is going to expand. Like if there's an area that we know, okay, this can just be removed, we'll replace with bricks and then, keep it moving forward. Because this could keep going for 10, 15
But
years,
it's
a
easy
program like
enough
this.
if we wanted to augment it to space them out, right? Like if we wanted to make a pathway.
no-
Well, what I was gonna say, for every one you buy, you need to get 2 or 3 more that are blank.
Turtle Creek, yeah, we
Because
would.
it's gonna be too much on the eyes to have every single one.
Right.
done.
Yeah.
But we should dedicate a place for that, maybe
Yeah.
with.
Oh, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah.
With a flag or with some, maybe the logo.
There was a, I don't know if it was a
They-
college campus. They did a flag. Now that you said it, they did a flag in the center, and they created the bricks to go in a circle.
Circle,
And they just
yeah.
kept adding on to it. It was in the
Yeah.
middle by like
Yeah.
That's
nothing. It was
cool.
just a field, and they
Yeah.
just created it. But it was the American flag, and it was just, I mean, it was like overly patriotic but it was just nice because they put benches on the outside of it, and then it was kind of like if you wanted to sit there and just enjoy
Yeah, that's.
the monument, I guess they refer to it as, but it's nice. Yeah, we have a lot of ways we could do it.
Yeah, a flag or a
Well, let me
statue or.
let me see if I can
monument.
So I'm not
download
getting my
this.
walkway base.
A giant turtle.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so if we look at.
So maybe in 20 years when the circle gets about
Yeah.
500 feet across.
Yep, hold on.
Yeah, it's a good idea. We just have to think about how we want to implement it.
We don't have a flag, right, inside our property?
No.
No, we just have the one on the
On the
exit.
outside, all right? Maybe we need a flag.
Let's see, hold on.
Well, we have that whole sea of pine trees there that's just nothing but pine trees, right? That whole
Yeah.
section there. There's plenty of room for this stuff, so.
Get out in the putting green.
Yeah.
In Celebration, there's a place where you can.
Yeah, we could put it around the putting green.
Big
Yeah, that's it.
people and put them in the box.
No.
Yes.
No,
No.
we are not doing that.
No,
That's
we are not
creepy.
doing
That's
that.
creepy.
But you know,
They
people.
do, where is that?
Yeah.
By
it
the
is-
lake? Is it-
No, it is on the way to Artisan Park.
Oh.
On the right side. It's a nice place. There's a flag.
How about this?
Mainly.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
See,
Veterans.
you can have something like that in the
Yeah.
middle with the logo, and then have the birds building out from it.
Is this that company that you were referring
Yeah.
to? Okay.
Yeah, this is, but I mean, you can see the different stuff they do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, like there, you have the logo, and then you have
Yeah.
names. Then these are all the, and I got.
So we would just have to
I
make
like
sure
the
we get
idea of
kind
it,
of a
yeah.
classic brick, right, that we could augment or whatever.
Yeah, because see, like these, you've got the spacing. There's, everything. You have two
Oh, I like
bricks, and
that
then you got.
different
Yeah.
spacing, the way that goes, that's
Mm.
cool. Going on the right there.
Yeah, see, I mean, there's a ton of stuff.
I mean,
here like
anything-
this.
Lots of things, look at that, yeah.
Well, the spacing is for if you don't have enough people that want to buy the bricks.
Yeah.
No,
Like
I
if you only
meant
have.
the direction of the way
Yeah.
they're laying
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, how they're doing them.
See, this is, I like the Caribbean 41. That's what I ordered as the free
Very
sample.
nice,
Mm.
very
Yeah.
nice,
So-
yeah, it's light,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's earth tone,
Yeah.
but I mean, you can obviously see they've got, and here's like, this is for the floors, and, I mean, they've got tons of these things, and this is the high res, and there's their free donor website, their order system, it's,
So people go to the website and order one, fill out the info, and then
yeah, and we can have.
we deal with it from that end?
We can do a brochure order form
Okay.
type of
Put
thing.
that on
up
our
to it.
website.
So the proceeds goes to where?
We would set up, basically, we would have it like a PayPal account or something like that to be able then to
And
clear it into.
where would the proceeds go?
What do you mean, into a PayPal account we set up, and then we just do clearing into our Alliance account?
So
Or-
we would, so the HOA would make the money, we wouldn't do
Yes.
it like a donation or?
Yeah, I thought maybe we sponsor something
That would be nice.
Mhm.
like orphanage.
He's a money guy, he
Yeah.
wants revenue, right?
I'm looking at it as another line item of
The
revenue.
more money it comes
Right.
into
But
the
no,
community, the more we
Actually, I
can.
think we would get more buyers if it were,
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
for non-profit.
you know, like a
We could
animal
always say a
rescue
percentage.
or-
We
And
could always
would
say a
be
percentage
richer
goes
in the
to.
future,
Why does
you
it
know,
need to go,
after-
we don't need
after
it,
life.
yeah, we don't, what do we need it for?
Well, you still gotta install all this
Yeah,
stuff.
I gotta do
Yeah,
I
that's
gotta do
permits.
the
We said
cost.
proceeds,
Yeah.
right, that's after
That goes after cost.
installation and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
yeah. So, I think we should pick a charity.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll play with the idea, see
Some
see
local-
where we put, let's start with,
There's
see
a-
where we would put
Yeah,
these bricks.
something local would be good.
Pat visited a place up in, I forgot the road up there. Anyway, it was a battered woman's house up there that they
Yeah.
did really good work for these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Red Cross or something big because.
No, no.
Yeah. I was
checking
I
their
know there's,
website.
No, something local would be good,
Yeah,
yeah.
even a school.
I know
Yeah,
there's,
schools.
Yeah.
Schools, no?
Yeah.
here in Orlando, there's a child foster
All,
program
they
too,
like Highland
all that
and
stuff.
They don't need the money
Yeah.
for it. But like, you know, like you could do like, you know, pet along, you know, an animal shelter or,
Yeah.
yeah,
Kids.
something like that.
Kids,
Something with animals or kids or something like
Yeah.
that.
Safety,
Homeless,
safety
yeah,
programs are
exactly.
also really nice to contribute to, you know,
Yeah.
just anything like that.
So are you on board with that, Mike?
I like the revenue.
I know, right? He wants the revenue.
Yeah,
But you
well-
get revenue after life, you
I
know?
don't call them the money bunny for no reason at all.
It's an alternative revenue stream for the HOA.
Yeah.
I know, but we
Yeah.
just nixed that, didn't we?
I
Alright,
think
but
people will be more, I personally
I
will.
would buy more,
because-
right?
yeah,
I wouldn't just buy one,
Yeah.
I would buy more because I'm donating something,
Yeah.
yes.
For something.
I want
Yes.
one letter of my name for each brick.
Plus it helps with the brand too,
Yeah.
right?
So,
Yep.
but I'll show everybody the sample when it comes
Yeah.
in, but I think this
Okay,
might
yeah.
be with, I mean, there's literally
Okay.
no downside for us.
No.
On
No,
this.
there's
No,
not.
It's all
no.
good.
Let's take our time on it.
Yeah, we need to plan where.
Yeah, let's take our
and
time
what
on
we
it.
are going to put, and it's not just random in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
You put a brick.
Depends on who buys it.
Yeah.
But, you know, assuming, you know, if we have
Yeah.
267 homes.
276.
276.
Soon to be 277.
277 and a half, right?
Yeah.
We got, actually. we're-
276 and a half. or
Yeah,
so.
we're down one. But so assuming that, we might have to figure out augmenting it or whatever,
No, but
you know.
the initial cost of the farm,
The pad, where you.
The
pad or
logo
flag or
and the
whatever.
flag or whatever,
This should
right.
be taken from the proceeds of the bricks. After
Okay,
we cover
right.
these costs,
Yeah,
then it goes to the charity.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Now, we can figure out pricing, but I think,
Yes, I
everybody
agree.
think about what would be a good, I guess you want to say design spot.
And where,
Yeah,
yeah,
what we're
where.
gonna do with the bricks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
By the way, they have, you can get granite ones also.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
That'd be
let's
nice.
not go crazy here.
They
Well,
come
they
in
make that granite for outside too.
hexagons,
Nice.
But
octagons.
they do change, changing color, right?
No,
Mhm.
not the outdoor, not the
Nobody
outdoor.
nobody is using granite. Really? Okay.
They do. That's what they're doing on all the pool decks now.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
mainly
that's true.
outside. It's
Really?
very nice
Yeah.
and it stays cool to your feet a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's nice. Yep.
Yep.
It's a stone.
All right. Well, we'll throw some ideas around later on this month.
Okay.
See what we can come
Trash
up with.
cans.
Yes.
Oh, that looks much better than what we
Trash
have.
receptacle.
Receptacles.
So our current trash can, which is a disgusting heaving mess up
Yes,
there.
it is.
So we're looking to replace the trash can, and I think based on the amount of trash that's going in there, we probably need to have a second trash can located
Yes.
someplace. But it needs, this is in the city of Orlando. They put them all on pads, they're all lifted off the ground. This is a composite lumber, and it's cut and milled on there. It comes with a dome on the top, one of the rise ups on there, so that it doesn't have it on there yet. But this is what we'd be looking at. And looking at, the steel like we have now, if you notice there's some dents in it where it's been hit. This, you crack one of these things, you just basically unscrew it,
You
order another one,
replace- yeah.
and boom, replace it, and it's done.
Oh, nice.
That's
This type of thing. So looking at these, they'd be mounted on 3 foot by 3 foot concrete pads. We had 3 bids on, very similar, all similar in nature. And then you've got Hono coming in at the lowest. So basically, you see what the pricing includes. It's the Foreman 4, the 2 pads, purchase 2 cans, the dome lid, the liner, hardware, cable to secure the dome lid from theft. Anything
How
like that.
frequently we clean them?
Weekly.
Who stole my trash
once
can
a
lid?
Weekly, and it's overflowing.
Yeah.
So who is picking the?
Brightview does it, and I usually have to remind them, but they will do it.
Yeah.
Now, so it's a can in it. How easy is it for us to clean? In case, like, let's say,
Well,
something really nasty gets thrown in there, it
technically,
gets
you
all
should
over.
be putting bags on the clips, because there's
Mhm,
clips
yeah.
on there. The other one doesn't have that option. That's why it's being thrown regularly in the plastic,
Yeah.
which makes it even gnarlier to clean out. I had
Yeah.
to do it twice.
Are we gonna do
Yeah.
the plastic bags?
Mhm.
Is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah, and because we were doing those in the past, but then the clips broke on the current one. We can't keep the, because then, of course, people throw it in and the plastic bag falls
Falls
up,
in,
falls
and
tension,
then-
and then
yeah.
it's just a more of a heating mess than it already is.
Yeah.
So this one would be, the up to date and,
So these have holes at the bottom for in
Yes.
case that a lid
Yeah.
stays undone and it rains.
yeah,
anytime.
but
Right.
right now, we have a hole, there's 4 holes on the bottom of the current one.
Yeah.
But since it sits on the ground, it doesn't go anywhere.
It's
It
almost
Yeah,
just
that's
sits
exactly
on the-
what I
yeah,
was thinking.
yeah.
But that's why
Yeah.
you put it on the pad here for one. You
Yeah.
now lifted it off the ground with this. It's now level. It can drain or whatever. And, everything should be, every park, everything that they put in, benches, tables, everything is on a concrete pad.
Is-
That's what we
Right.
should do.
Is-
And we only have them at the rec area, there's nowhere else?
No, we only have 1 trash can and 3 dog stations.
Is there an option for a self-closing? Because someone may not put the lid on, raccoons.
Well, the
you know,
lid, it's the
It's a
lid,
dome.
it's the dome that sits on top, so it's
Yeah.
the cylinder, but it'll sit there. You can still throw it in there. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm a little
It's
lost.
not one that has the swing
No,
door.
it doesn't
it's
have
just
a swing
dome
door. It's not a
that's
McDonald's
open at
one.
the top, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's got the circular and it's got like 4 legs that sit on the opening of the dome.
Oh,
So
and then you stick it in the side.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
right now we don't have that, and people that try to shove everything. I'm surprised nobody's tried to shove a car transmission down it yet.
Yeah.
But this will help for overflow and what people can actually put into it,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
which you'd be surprised on
Yeah.
some of the stuff that's been.
Yeah.
So it's not like wildlife
So
can
you
get
see
into it.
it,
No.
you put
That's-
it,
that's-
so you
that
got
was
the
my
dome and then you
primary
stick it
concern.
inside.
And I can tell you from
Oh,
ours,
okay,
which
okay,
has
okay.
nothing on the top of it, we've never had any wildlife issues with it. I think
Still,
it's even too gnarly for
I'd be-
wildlife.
Because they're
I'm
all
just
at
asking,
my
yeah.
house.
No, that's okay.
That's why.
Oh, okay. It's the people that are putting cat food out.
Yeah.
Not me,
They
but
don't need trash, they've got luxury cat
I've
food.
got enough rats for the cats.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's a good improvement, and
So we would put one where it is now, or where are you?
we can
thinking?
figure it out, but we'll
Yeah,
get
we'll
them on
figure it
order.
out.
Okay. I am absolutely for this. This is
Yeah.
good.
Okay, so.
I think 2 is good too.
I do too.
It's appropriate.
We
So,
need it. We need
On
it.
on this one then, I'll make the motion to approve 2 trash receptacles with the cement pad from Honnold Property Maintenance for $2,163.92 to be taken from Recreation Reserve account. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Does that also include removing the other one?
What was that?
Does that also include removing the old one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not touching that thing.
Complete
I
job.
know, it's, and
Just making
it
sure.
really, I was shocked at how much that rec area gets used. It is
Mhm.
very busy up there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot.
Next
our
item.
benches.
Replacement benches, next item. So, going back and forth, as you can see,
That's so
the
nice.
concrete pad
Nice.
name.
Yeah.
This is in a
nice.
neighborhood that is in Lake Nona, where this was installed. So that right now, these are it's by the brand Dumore, and that's, you've probably seen them in Winter Park, Winter Garden. They're actually up where BurgerFi is.
Mhm.
Saw it there today. These are kind of what the standard is. 5-foot length is what's becoming what all communities and the city and the county are putting in, because I learned this in talking with the county. If they put in 6 foot, they have people sleeping on them. 5
Yeah.
foot, it's
Oh, I
less,
can't go
for
into
whatever reason, it's less likely somebody's gonna go to sleep on them.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Everything designed by the county is for
Not
homeless people to
comfortable.
stay off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't have the railing in the middle, which is
Yeah.
also to prevent them from sleeping on it.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, that's
So-
why they have that little middle railing.
So we've got, obviously the color options here. Forest green is this one right here.
Yeah.
And it's and it
Forestry?
matches, yeah,
Oh, okay.
and it matches our general theme on what we
I was
have.
thinking
I mean,
that
if
one.
it's at a
What's that
park,
one?
green is just a
What is
nice
that color?
tone. That is charcoal.
Oh,
This
it's
is charcoal.
gray.
Can we have them in wood?
In wood?
The wood, the composite wood?
Yeah,
That'd be
we could.
nice.
We could, but it'll
Because
change
this
the.
is too hot to use.
But we're gonna have, well, I gotta remember where these are gonna go. You're gonna have one in the basketball court, that one to replace, and then you're gonna get the top.
Yeah, we were
over it,
discussing the
shades.
shades as well.
Oh,
The
Yeah.
one that's over where you have that plaque, whatever they named the park after, that one never has any real sun on it.
Mhm.
That one will be replaced. And then the one where you have the former tennis bench right there, and looking at it, it really doesn't get enough sun to really get super heated over there. And I mean, at worst case, you can add a shade later over it, or a
Yeah.
canopy over it or something.
We just have to look at where the sun goes and then
Yeah.
just put the shade
Well, they're all
appropriate to
gonna
where
have
it
That's what I
is.
say.
Nice.
We're gonna put
See,
a
all the time.
canopy over all of them,
parks.
right? What do you say, Lou?
Park, people sleeping on the park
Oh,
benches
Oh,
everywhere.
yeah.
We're gonna put a canopy over all of them though, right?
You're only gonna put a canopy over one. to
Over the
start.
ones that are really in sunlight.
That would be the one by the basketball court. The
Oh,
one,
I thought we were gonna put them over.
it doesn't make sense to put a canopy over the one that's hidden under the ligustrums. The one, if this is where the bike rack is, you've got the McDowell Park Monument marker. There's that bench there that nobody really recognizes or sees. That never has enough sun on it, because it's sitting right over the tree.
Where is that?
See, that's why you don't know.
It
Oh, I know
blends
what
in
you're
so
talking
well.
about. It's facing the
It's
playground
facing, it's facing the
area.
playground area.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Now, you've got the former tennis bench, which if you put it kind of where it is right now, it doesn't get enough sun either. Because it's covered enough by the canopy of the trees on that.
And it might be nice, some people like to sit down on a bench and be covered by natural tree growth. I actually talked to one of a park architect, he said the same thing. Some people prefer just natural
But the
shade
one- The
over,
one on the tennis court doesn't get shade. You're gonna cover that one, right?
It was the former bench of the tennis court. It's the plastic bench that they moved out by the basketball court. The tennis
There's
court
still
one,
one on the tennis court.
I know, but those are tennis court specific. These aren't gonna go for the tennis court.
Oh, gotcha.
This is gonna go with the one with the basketball, at the edge of the basketball court, that'll have the shade over, because that's the one that gets baked.
Yeah,
There's no
anything-
trees around that.
anything near those basketball
Well,
courts or the tennis
the one
courts.
facing the basketball court, there's two. Those two are gonna get the
Just the one.
time.
Because if you've got the basketball court is here, you've got this one is gonna get the canopy. This is the one that's exposed. This one, which is the plastic bench that used to be in the tennis court, that one doesn't get enough sun to worry about.
The one
right?
that, the back is to the playground.
Yes. That one does not get enough sun. It's got the canopy enough. And then you've got the other one over here that's facing the playground, that's completely covered by the,
I think that one facing the.
and then if that's the
The
case, then we
back
add it
If
later.
it is the
Okay.
case, yeah, we can.
I mean, I'd
we
rather
can
just add it later than get signed up and put it in and we really don't need it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So, now these are,
And then whenever we do replace the volleyball court, we'll do benches at that time.
yeah, that'll be a whole redesign. And then
Okay.
I still have to get the final quotes for the two tennis hut ones that go between the courts.
Right.
Those are still, I still need those quotes
Okay.
on there. And we still need the table quote to come in, but that's all dependent if we move with this style, forward with this 5-foot style.
I like that forest green though. It's
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
for a park.
It's very, very popular. That's about all you
Yeah.
ever see.
Yeah, and
It's
on
nice
nice
for a
cement
park.
pad. So I mean, these here got
Crazy
8,
about
these
it.
are custom made, so these are made to order. They're 8 weeks of lead time on the benches.
Yeah.
So
They're meant to
basically,
blend in a little bit.
we've got
You're
3
not-
benches, which includes the freight,
too
to
much
drop ship
metal.
it is $3,500
Mhm.
for the 3, which is, if you looked at the Belson ones I showed last month and some of the others, you were all at the $800 to $1,300 range.
Mhm.
And this one is a premium, you know.
That's
comes with-
metal, that's metal, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's formed
Okay.
steel.
Yeah, because
Steel.
I remember some of the old
Yeah,
ones
it's
where,
really hot to sit on.
what was it, the rubberized ones? They would come loose and stuff, so.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
But the canopy, we'll order the canopy to put over it. I mean, that's separate from this. If we got 8 weeks of lead time for this, I can have a canopy sent in within that 8 weeks and have it installed all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good to me.
So, and we did get four bids back. We got $11.94 per bench when you broke it down was the Hano one, and he had somebody out of Fort Lauderdale was charging almost $1,900 for the same bench.
Jesus.
And they wanted to charge freight too. I'm like, what? Like, no.
All right.
So,
Yeah. All
but
right.
this is the start. At least we can get an order in on these and get it in process, and then put the pads down and get that all. Now we do have the
The
option.
price includes the pads too?
Yeah. So we can color the cement if we wanted to make the pads blend more.
Mhm.
You can mix in a color.
Yep.
Make it like a gray.
Does that
almost.
stay?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Because it
It
gets a
mixed
mixture
into
in
the
it.
concrete.
Yeah, it's right into the
Yeah,
concrete mix.
color and concrete.
But we
Color.
can,
Well, whatever that general color of that area is, I mean, you don't want anything to stick out, like if,
It's grass green, it's, you
Yeah.
know. green.
what, isn't the road there black now, right? The road up to that is black, so I don't know what the other concrete around there is.
instead of
but-
that concrete beige, I think the gray would be a better, it's not, because you don't want to make it green on green, because
Yeah, no.
somebody's going to hurt themselves because they won't see the concrete
Yeah.
there because it blends into the
Maybe
grass.
brown?
You could.
Could be brown.
Just as long as it doesn't look dirty, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
You don't want it to look like it needs to be
The
cleaned.
gray will be
That would
dirty.
bad.
Mhm.
After a while, they spill coffee or whatever on it, and it will be.
Kool-Aid.
Light colors will do that too. If you have like a really light concrete, like,
Mhm.
and someone spills coffee or anything on that, you'll see that too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
Brown, that's why.
I don't think the color will really.
So,
Yeah.
but if everybody's, good with that design, we can at least get the benches on order and start working through the canopy order and looking at those. And
Yeah.
then start to look at the table replacement then, for that table, which, that's all.
Is that the one with that rubberized plastic
Mhm.
thing?
That's 10 years past its prime.
Yeah, the table needs it, that's my
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah, I want
if everybody's all right with it, I'll make the motion to
Yeah.
approve 3 benches for 358203
Yeah.
from Hono property to be taken against the Recreation and Reserve account.
Yep, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Front marquee.
Oh.
Ugh. Coming to the end. As you can see, this is why I was struggling to get this thing out. This is like trying to get the slide deck done was a feast. All right, so we finally got all 3 vendors submitted their proposals for the bubbler option, which
Yeah.
was the one that the survey came back as the most, I
This-
guess you want to say,
overall.
widely subscribed to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you've got Honnold, you got Vital Signs of Orlando, and you got Strictly Commercial Systems, all 3 of which are on the Orange County grant program list, so they've all gone through their insurance and everything, so there's no hold up in their paperwork or
Okay.
whatnot. So you've got total project cost, you got about $20,000 for Honnold, $45,000 for Vital Signs,
Ooh.
and $29,000 for Strictly.
Big difference.
So if you take out you're looking at putting this in as an Orange County grant, Turtle Creek's portion would be 10,000, 35,000, or
Mhm.
18,500. Obviously, we know which one we pick. And I know which one the county's
Wow.
gonna pick because they always take lowest cost bid.
They always go low bid.
Yeah, no matter what. So the difference is, when talking Vital Signs, they're the ones who kind of mock this up. They want to put in a 14 by 14 by 3 foot fiberglass pond with a brick buildup on it, and then they have the 4 bubblers with the LED lights on it, like we discussed.
So rays, right?
Yeah.
Like the photo? Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Strickland actually did very similar, was 14 by 5 by 3 and a quarter fiberglass pond with the 4 bubblers. They weren't going to do the brick out, they were going to reinforce the base level tier a bit, and you wouldn't have as much brick, you would have more, like cut this in half. You'd have that, and it would be low.
Better.
Mhm.
The lower on that.
Mhm.
And obviously, you can adjust the bubblers to go higher.
Mhm.
Obviously, you don't need the Bellagio type.
Right.
Let's get it going.
But I like that.
Yeah, why not?
I think we need to
If you wanna
block
pay for
the
the
Turtle
sound
Creek.
system.
Get the gold lion out too.
I can do the sound system.
Yeah, if
we
we
start-
Got
start-
new logos.
If we open casino,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shiny gold.
That's good though, because that also means we can have center one a little higher,
Yeah,
and then
and-
kind of angle
So
it.
it's,
if we,
so it's
you know,
gonna be
lower,
5
lower.
bubblers?
4. We have 4. That they just did a 5 on this one. I mean,
Oh,
we
okay.
can we can make them 5.
I
would do
like
I like
five.
5, yeah.
You
Alright.
decorate, usually always decorate with uneven numbers.
All right,
So-
we can do that.
And I like the
There
idea
you
of doing
go.
the middle.
Yeah, kind of give it a little bit of a
Or
gradient
even
where it lowers.
these,
Yeah, it's only a
have it
couple
come down
$100
lower,
for
right?
the fixture.
To
Possibly,
sign
yeah.
and
That-
show her, that'd be
I mean, you're already
nice too, right?
installing all the infrastructure. It doesn't
Right.
matter if you go 4 or 5. So I can have do the 5 then, if that's what looks the best
I like
from
the
based on
5.
the mock-up here.
Yeah.
This is what we showed when we did the survey.
And I do like the idea of that wall being a little bit lower.
Mhm. The Hano way is they're going to remove the dirt from the top tier, basically reinforce it and put down a waterproof surface within it, and then it'll be running on almost kind of like a drain basin system they're going to
Okay.
put in there, and there'll be 2 tanks then put behind the sign,
Yeah.
Yep.
and then it would recirculate itself that way.
Okay.
Of course.
So it's like a pool
No,
pump, right?
the other way was they were gonna tie into the irrigation system and have a float. So if it got too low, there's a sensor, and it would open it up, and our irrigation would run and refill it. And then it would shut off when the float came. Now, the problem you have with these two doing that is, one, well, obviously, it costs a lot more.
Yeah.
But second, we have that reclaimed water in the front, which will totally
Oh, destroy.
destroys everything it comes in contact with.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Now, with Hunnell, it's a closed loop system, so you would have to, you would
How
fill
do we
it.
fill it?
Well, that's what he has a 1-year service call to come in and monitor it for a year, included in this price, as well as an extra pump. So if one of the pumps gives, he can swap out the pump while the other one gets sent out, so you don't lose one side versus the other.
Yeah, 'cause
And
that
then
I
what's
don't
it
know.
ongoing?
Ongoing, I mean, for that, I believe he
After
said
the
it
year.
was something ridiculous, like $1,000 a year.
For the
That's
pump
cheap.
and the service and stuff?
Well, for the service calls, so he's on, I mean, 1,000 divided by 12 is less than $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the second year, which
Yeah.
for somebody to fill it and do whatever on it, I mean,
Yeah.
that makes the most sense.
So was he bringing a tank of water or something with
Yeah.
him?
Yeah.
Okay.
The water
Because they do
filter?
power
Yeah.
washing, and they just, basically, they have all the tankage on that
right,
stuff, so you
gotcha.
just would use freshwater tank and then fill it,
Mhm.
and then it's all based on, what's the evaporation rate.
Well, we don't
Yeah,
really have a
that's gonna be
choice.
important.
We have to do that. We can't use the reclaimed water. It'll just tear everything up.
Oh, that's a
What-
disaster.
Another thing that we need to think about, bubblers, because they splash, if that water's in any way dirty, that wall, especially that brick, it's gonna start getting that, like, that, that,
Nasty stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a mess.
I mean, you gotta deal with rain and everything, filling it up. This year here,
Yeah.
that thing would have been bubbles and a waterfall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the other thing, you have rain that would, fill it too.
would keep it going, yeah.
Which is cleaner than the reclaimed water, which is not,
Yeah.
not very hard. But I really like, I
So
like.
this price, is that for both?
Yes,
Okay.
all the prices are for both signs.
Okay.
But I will say that the lowest total cost of ownership would be with Honnold, with the tank system. That's the easiest, straightforward, there's no complexity to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very simple design that executes what you need it to. And basically, the infrastructure is already there. You have electrical, you have everything plumbed and ready to go for that, to be put in. You would just have the 2 tanks behind there, which we have to paint kind of that color that we know the color codes to get it close to the brick look.
When you went through that with the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The fact that they include the 1-year service calls and the extra
I like
pump,
that
that's,
too.
I mean, the other
I
ones
like
don't
that
even
it's
offer
simple.
that.
I
Yeah.
like that it's simple. So.
Yeah, and I mean, it just, we're not gonna spend as much money on the other 2. There's no way on that.
No,
I mean, that's.
no.
Yeah.
Too
Yeah.
far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at that point, we would just replant something up there or do something.
I
Yeah.
think this really sets us off. I think this is a nice improvement to our front.
So would Hunnell be doing the same type of, they're gonna do an elevated brick? Is that
Yes.
like same kind of
Yeah.
like photo, same
Yeah.
idea?
Yeah, because I had shared the photo.
And
with-
they do that shorter lift.
Yeah, they
though,
can
okay.
modify
Yeah,
whatever you
'cause I
want.
think that's a little too high.
Well,
yeah.
yeah, we can bring the brick wall a little lower, but we can bring the jets a little higher, right? In
Yeah.
case we need,
Yeah.
they're,
They're adjustable,
Mhm.
and they were showing me
Bellagio.
because they brought in one of the jets, and it's basically it's no different than a kind of your irrigation. You're just
Right.
twisting a
Yeah.
thing, and
Oh,
that
right.
it can make it flow, or it can be more of a I mean, there's different ways of doing
And this
it.
is one side, right?
It's for both sides.
they get both
Both
sides,
sides.
yeah.
Ah, for both.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's lighting or no?
Yeah, I was just gonna
Yeah, the
spotlight.
LED.
Yep. Everything will have the LED on it.
How
Is
is
it
the
like-
lighting? Is it
So we
like
can change the
hidden?
color?
What are they doing?
The-
Yeah.
the-
How are
It's the
they-
rings. It's
inside the
It's the, well, if you've ever,
bubble?
if you go down to where like the eye is, the Orlando Eye.
Yeah.
And they have the thing where they have their jets, there's a ring that sits around them. and that's what you
So
have.
it just illuminates
Yeah.
literally the image.
Yeah.
Perfect, well,
Yeah.
that's all you need,
That's-
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, you're still gonna have the two lights over here that we're gonna have to pull and get refinished and redone.
Right.
You know, and get those switched
Match,
to
match
LEDs.
Those
the
are
other
nice,
ones.
Yeah, and, but, so you don't want it to drown out, I mean, your thing's
Mm-hmm.
the marquee, you just want it to illuminate, hey, we have a water feature at night.
And focus on the Turtle Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing we'll have to balance is to make sure that the light shining on Turtle Creek is equivalent or
Higher.
higher than the bubblers.
Yeah.
Because we
Right.
wouldn't want the bubblers to be like,
Overpowering
you know,
the
like
Turtle
we're
Creek.
constantly
Right.
getting
And-
that reflection
And
on
the,
it.
and the thing that would solve that, in my opinion, is if we, when we get these refinished, which they do need one way or another, can we make these, put in spacers and put LEDs on the back of them so it has that
Sure.
3D effect,
Yeah,
that type of thing?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that
a
would be nice.
must, right,
Yeah.
yeah, that's really.
Because
Absolutely.
if you look at Phillips Grove, they do that, and like
It's
Ruby
nice.
Lake on theirs, I mean, that really sets it off as,
The lights that, because I think we have a light bar that's
Yeah, it's a-
illuminating.
it's
Yeah.
a piece of crap.
Is that, it's not LED, is it?
No.
So that we need to up.
Could we consider maybe throwing that in there as well? Maybe an LED?
Problem
Well, we're
is,
gonna
as soon
redo
as you
that.
put the bubblers in front, you have no way to
Mhm.
get out to light it. That's why you gotta
That's true.
backlight the letters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you would get rid of the bar and then you'd do the LED backlight on everything
Yep.
here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that would be what we would
But that's
wanna do.
part of our logo change
Yeah.
too, right, with
Yeah.
black
And
and then
and that's a
And
whole
the actual-
separate project because they have to pull those letters off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Remachine them, refinish,
Mhm.
and then they've got to treat the background here,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
marble
Yep,
or
the
whatever.
marble, yeah.
Yeah, because that's, you can see where it's been hit with that reclaimed water over here
Yeah.
by the
Mhm.
T.
Yeah.
It's really got
It gets
the
bad.
stain on there.
Yeah.
But that's, like I was saying, that's why we would do these, and then the three or the monument signs, the two waters, or the Boca and the Avalon, all at the same time,
Yeah.
to send them all out at the same time.
We also want to make sure the lighting behind those letters is quite strong, because I
Oh,
went
yeah,
to a
this is-
hotel recently in Miami. They did it. It was gorgeous, their
Yeah.
logo,
Mhm.
but it was really weak, and
Yeah.
it was, the
Not
effect
good.
was so little
Yeah, you-
that.
You can adjust them. They're adjustable now.
Yeah, we just got to make sure we really,
The other thing too, depending upon what colors end up on the logo itself,
Yeah.
you can actually make that translucent and light it completely from behind. In other words, light through
Oh, I
face.
see,
Yeah,
the
light the
whole
lights
thing
make,
up,
define
yeah.
the lettering and everything, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
really want that though.
like a kind of like a 50%, kind of like something where
Yeah.
you're getting like a,
Yeah.
what is it, frost on it?
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of like that.
Kinda like frost.
They call it translucent.
Yeah,
Stuff.
I know exactly. what
Okay,
you're
so
talking
we need to vote on that first one.
Well, I mean, we
Do we have
just
to
have
vote?
to,
Is that what
we
we're-
would just have to agree that we would move forward with submitting a package to the Orange County Grant Program.
Oh,
Because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
review
yeah,
it.
yeah. that's-
Yeah,
And
that
then we
way
can
we're
see,
paying for
see
it.
what they have. I talked to them last week. They haven't met yet for September. September is when the new fiscal starts.
Okay.
But will probably be reviewed like in October or November based upon what they have in queue now
Okay.
on that. And it's not to say that they may not, excuse me, they may not look at this as a capital improvement. Because I was saying, after the hurricane, we can't grow anything there. This is what we want to change it to kind of say that we have a problem that needs fixing, even though we kind of don't.
Well, but but it would eliminate the reclaimed water from ruining the sign too.
Yeah, because you
Right,
would shut it
We
off.
are
Water's gonna do it.
spending, yeah.
And then, eventually, once you get the water feature up and running, and then you get the sign redone in the back, then I think that's when you say, okay, we need to discuss the
Yeah.
landscaping.
Yeah.
Because right now, you're gonna have people trudging up and down, up and down.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
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 Especially like that, whatever that grass that sits low profile, it's been there since, I think they installed the signs. I mean,
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, we'll
neat.
focus on that afterwards, I think.
yeah, so, but yeah, the next step would be to prepare the grant
Okay.
package, send it downtown and see what they have to say. Maybe if they approve it, great. If they don't, well then, then I was
Then
just
we're
gonna
back
swap.
to the table.
Well, then I would swap in this and see, because I know that I can get approved to do
The
the sign.
backlighting?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then with the money you save there, do you just spend the 20,000 and just have both sides done?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So you do have the flexibility in that, because
Yeah.
there's nothing to preclude in the rules that say, if you submit something, get denied, you can't submit something else.
Right.
I asked that, so.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
all good.
Yeah.
We can't see those numbers. How much is this project?
Let's see, you've got 3 bids. The total cost for each of them is, you got 20,000, 45, and 28,000. If you factor in the Orange County grant, Turtle Creek would pay 10,000 because they're gonna take the lowest cost bid, and that covers both signs.
Yep, so about 5,000 each.
Yeah, that's cheap.
That's if you get the grant.
Yes.
If we get the grant,
Yeah.
yeah.
And if we don't get the grant, then we just come back and see what we,
Let's talk about it,
replan.
Yeah,
Reevaluate,
maybe.
Yeah,
reevaluate from there on.
because one way or another, we'll get a grant. If it's not for this, we can get it for.
Then we'll get it to
Those
upgrade that
figures are
sign.
just for the bubbler. That's not all this extra lighting and refurbishing the letters or anything you're talking about?
No, refurbishing letters and everything else is separate.
Yep.
Mhm.
So you might as well figure doubling that.
Well, if you factor in you were looking at probably to redo the letters as is and that, we got 3,700 and 4,300 as the 2 bids back on doing both signs. Now you throw in the 4 monument signs at
They're
the same
monuments,
time. Let's say, another 2,000, basically 3,000.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, again, these signs haven't been touched in a
20
decade,
years. Yeah.
if not more. But I mean, that's why we have the reserve account for this stuff. I mean, the lights in the monument, these
Why
have
we've
to
been
be
doing it,
pulled,
right.
the ones in the gatehouse have to be pulled, the ones at they all pretty much have to be, I would assume we would keep the same, and just pull them and have them refinished,
Yeah,
sandblast
they're
them
nice.
and
They're-
shoot them and
yeah,
then
they're
just
nice.
switch them out to LED.
Same
Is
style.
Antoine saying we got a good chance of getting it?
Well,
Hmm?
we don't know, we're just gonna submit it.
From what I submitted last year, they said it shouldn't be a problem because I submitted both, and they said they have no problem.
Antoine usually has a pretty good idea of if it's gonna go through or not.
Yeah, and I thought they said it's only every other year you could ask for grants.
Yeah, it is.
You said
And
you submitted one last year.
I submitted a preliminary one last year. I didn't submit an official one because we never voted on an official one. Because I had said what would get done, because I knew both of these projects put together, the letters or the bubblers are gonna be, well over it. I just try to keep it as close to 20,000 at the top end as I can.
Right.
So what was the last grant they gave us when you put the lighting on the front wall?
Yep,
Yeah, the front walls, yeah.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, might as well go after the grant if it's there.
I think
It's
so.
a good benefit, yeah.
Got
It
nothing to
adds
lose.
value.
It's a really
It
great
adds
benefit.
value
You
to
got
it.
nothing to lose.
And that's our job, is to.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so if you want, I'll make the motion to, I guess, move forward with preparing and submitting the grant package down to the Orange County contacts for the bubbler, option 1 bubblers here.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
all right.
Actually, we'll be I think we're the only ones that'll have water feeters at that point.
Yeah,
That's,
that's why we were doing
That's
it.
huge,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
huge.
And that's
Yeah.
that's another reason
Yeah.
why.
That was
Huge.
the major reason why we wanted
Right.
to stand out from.
Celebration of
Mhm.
water.
That's what I thought.
Oh, wow.
Celebration.
Oh, my God.
But I do like the Honol execution of it. The design, it's simple, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That-
It's a good
that's-
way to
Clean,
think
straightforward.
about it.
And the maintenance going forward
I
is not a
mean-
problem. It's not a fountain
Yeah.
on the lake.
Yeah, so.
Yep. Will there be any change from four bubblers to 5 in case we do go with 5?
Yeah, I'm sure it will. It'll inch it up a bit. I can't imagine.
I
it
can't
won't.
imagine.
Can't be $200 to
Yeah,
$400.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'll have it updated from them.
If it updates, just shoot out an
Yeah.
email. Yeah.
And to save on time, if it's so minuscule, I might not even have to change it. We can just
Yeah,
put it
it's
outside.
Yeah,
under $500.
exactly.
You know,
Sure.
I'm not
Yeah.
wasting time with, having
Or
a,
even 1,000.
it's hard enough getting some of these guys to respond on a timely basis. You have to chase them.
Everybody's busy.
Yeah,
Everybody's busy.
Well, and I know it's not easy going through that grant stuff. either.
Yeah.
No.
Trying to sort through all that, so.
Yeah, just
Oh,
start at
very
the top.
tedious.
Start
Thank you
ram-
for doing
Yeah,
that.
it's-
Start ramming it down from the top down, so. Let's see, new business. All right, looking ahead to 2019, here's our proposed schedule. pretty much lines up to every third Wednesday like we're trying to do. I did make a couple adjustments. I'm trying to avoid any Jewish holidays, for one.
Oh, yeah. Yep, there you go.
And then, the Christmas one, at the end, 12/18, that's far enough away from, the actual holiday.
Yeah.
And then I was talking with Tom today, and I was asking him about when we had that problem when the substitute guard took down the sign and kind of broke that 48 hours continuous notice. He's saying that pretty much the state's looking at making the website kind of like the de facto.
Thank you.
Maybe in the next session, they'll approve it, and then you can, just have it on the website, and then that takes care of everything. He goes, in lieu of that, if you know your schedule, he goes, when you're doing a send-out, like the second send-out for the annual meeting, he goes, just throw in the 2019 schedule. You've essentially communicated everything at that point, so if you do miss the timing for 48 hours or whatever, you've already communicated to everyone in the membership that you've.
And then we've even done an email blast when it's changed, so.
Yeah, he says the only
between
thing
that
that
and the
changed,
website-
yeah, he goes, you just have to recognize if it changes, you do that. And I explained to him what we do, and he's like, yeah, you'll be covered one way or another, so.
There you go, that's good.
So we'll just add this in, if everybody agrees to it.
Well,
And,
Yeah, that's great, yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, that works.
And so when's the state's next session?
That usually happens in, you're looking at April, and they
Okay.
usually get everything done, signed, and then published usually late June, and it always says effective July 1st, but nobody ever really gets through it until like end of July almost,
Okay.
on that. So that is one of the topics, because they're trying, the screams are coming more and more, from not only from HOAs, but from the condos.
Yeah.
Nobody,
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
they're forcing the condos to get websites that are actually functioning versus, hey, this is a joke of a website, hasn't been updated in years.
Right.
And then HOAs are probably gonna go the same way, especially when it comes to records. Forcing all the records online.
It needs to. It
Yeah.
needs to get up to
Yeah.
date. Okay, well, that's good news. That's
Yeah.
actually good
So
news.
we
And
can
I'm glad
cover
to see
it.
the states being more progressive with this
It's
stuff.
just trying to get it pushed through, because everything is very slow.
Of
So
course.
hopefully they don't do what they usually do, is which they update the 718 statutes, which are condos. Condos usually always go first, because they have the more, I guess you want to say, tighter regulations and systems and whatever. And HOAs are kind of always straggling along in the background. But that's not to say, like, we can adopt something coming from the condos.
Yeah.
Because
Because we
you,
follow condo, because they're
for
more
most of the
stringent,
time,
right?
you
Yeah.
want to, if you want to do something, you default to the condo side. Even if it's not within 720 for HOAs, you go with 718, and you'll be covered, because 3 years down the road when they put it in, you've already been doing it
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
for that.
Okay.
Next one, here's a same condo notice schedule. We'll, looking at December, we'll have our first draft, send out one is gonna be complete by the 5th of December. We'll get it over to Leland Printing by the 12th. That gives them lead time to get it postmarked and emailed out on the 20th. So that meets our requirement, because we have to send it 60 days or more ahead of time for that. E-voting company, we'll use the same ones as last year or past 3 years, whatever we've been doing.
Okay.
We usually queue them up because they create the sandbox, stand it up again.
Okay.
We would then have nominations due back to Leland by noon on January 11th. That's either, or you can, submit it online in that regard. Based upon that, then we update for send out 2, which has the profile, people running and all the, that good information. Get that to Leland Printing on the 14th. They send it out by the 21st or postmark it. We do the final updates to the e-voting website on the 29th. Do the final test with Joe Smith and Jane Smiths of the testing world. We profile. We would open the e-voting portal at 5 p.m. on February 6th. Registration for e-voting, if you have not registered for e-voting, that would close at 5 p.m. on Valentine's Day. And then subsequently, you'd have the annual meeting and election on the 20th.
Okay.
So for 2019, we have 3 positions standing for election. So this makes it easy. This has got to be the cleanest way that anybody does this
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
It just, literally, you're just adjusting the date by day every year. That's it. because everything stays,
Your plans.
it's the same plan every single time,
Right.
like clockwork, so.
Okay, sounds good.
And I had sent this to Maria, and she got wheel and buy off on all the
The
Leland
dates
dates.
and, okay, so
Okay.
they're all secure.
They're all
Yeah,
Good.
and it actually helps them out because they're not, most of their rush comes from everybody trying to push everything out 14 days ahead of time for the annual meeting. I mean, we're at 60 and basically
Right,
45 or 45 for nominations and nothing more than 35 for the second send out. So we're way ahead of that,
Good.
so.
It's nice to not be rushed, you know, and try to fit things in.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
did we have any other business the board wanted to discuss?
Good.
No, not really.
I think we covered a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to go home.
Yeah, almost. Okay, we'll open it to the floor. Questions?
Road repairs, you had said you were gonna try to get them done before the holidays.
Yep.
What's going on with that?
Let's see, it wasn't just the road repairs, it was gonna be the seal coating.
Right.
Yeah, well, if we look at the weather outside, it's not very conducive right now to seal coating, plus with the other activities going on. We'll have to see when that fits into the schedule again, because we gotta close out some other stuff before we do the seal coats.
So now we're looking into next year then.
Probably, I would think so.
I would probably assume sometime in the first quarter.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Probably better
legitimately.
than anyway, it's not rainy season.
Yeah.
Because right now I can't, I mean, nobody's gonna start a seal coat right now, this is just
Oh,
ridiculous.
The rain has
It's,
been brutal.
it's horrible enough trying to get this regular work done, let alone the nightmare that seal coating is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, and by that time, we will have a couple more of the curbs that are collecting water. Vice, the guys, Hector is having an engineer come out and shoot 3 of them that are collecting water bad to see how do we take a look at it. And I did talk to him today about the potential grind down by you to see if we could do it as a test spot.
Yeah.
I know we've had success so far with the one test apron that we did that has the lip, it was like this. They ground it, it looks pretty good. So we might pull together the list and have them, their other guys come in and just do some grinds on them too while they're at it in here.
But that's all first quarter next year?
No,
That's
That'll be
now?
yeah.
That's now?
They'll be
Okay.
the same guys who are doing the concrete sidewalk replacement. So, and hopefully they said they're gonna be in here for about a month doing all these replacements. I mean, because you see.
They're working it, it's.
You know, we keep getting rained out like everybody else.
It's been a nightmare on this stuff, trying to get them to do, so.
I've been chased off the jobs all week.
Okay. Other items?
Yeah, Brightview's budget, like you said, 54,000 is what, approximately is what you allow for them for the year?
53,000.
Okay, and you're saying we want to give them more money, but does this?
No,
take
we
any-
didn't say we're gonna give them more money.
I thought said
No, I said we took back the price increase that we had voted in 2017 to give them in 2018. We're not giving them any relief, we're not giving that price back to them.
okay.
Maybe in
You take into
2020.
account though that throughout the year, you've given them approximately $29,000 in additional work on top of that 54,000?
Okay?
That's a lot of profit right there for them. We don't know how much they made in material or labor on those jobs. So I mean, I wouldn't jump the gun to give them any more money. 'Cause we're
Did I
giving them
say-
so much
but-
additional work.
But did I say I was jumping the gun? I'm not giving them anything.
Right.
I'm not giving
Well,
them
it was
a price
proposed
back.
in last December's meeting to give them a yearly 4%.
No, I didn't. It was a one-time 4%. One-time 4%, it says it in the meeting minutes, because they had not received a price increase in 7 years prior, and they came looking for a 4%. We voted to give them 4% as a one-time. I pulled back the 4% when we had to do the Avalon assessment credit to help pay for that. They're not getting it in 2018, or 2019, and they can ask again in 2020, but there are no promises that they will.
Right, they're still getting enough side work though, additional work to give them extra profit, correct?
I guess, but I'm not the P&L manager for Brightview. I'm not the P&L manager for U.S. Security for what their margin is on the guards. Their margins are immaterial to me.
All right, the last thing is, last December, Tom Slayton said that because you took the neighborhood watch sign down, all the homeowners alarm signs had to go. He told you that then, you told him, draft a letter, you're gonna send it out. Hasn't been done yet.
And I think we have talked about this at the other meeting and conferring with Tom on this subject again. It's treated no different than a covenant violation. A dirty roof, you're not putting your trash cans behind a bush or something like that. It can be cited as a violation, and Maria is the one who does that. She's the only one who does that as her job. We don't go around with a clipboard.
But the residents have to be advised that it's now illegal to have.
They'll get a violation letter. It's
Why don't
always
you
been
send
in there.
letters, if, tell them up front and see how many take them out.
They can do it with the letter. I mean, are we gonna tell people, you really need to wash your roof? No, it's just, if Maria sees it, it's a covenant violation, it goes out, and then it goes through its normal process of 3 violations before it comes to the board to see if we seek legal remedy on the topic.
Yeah. It's going nowhere.
I mean, we're more than happy, I'll tell Maria to send out the violations. I know she's been sending out
You're talking
violations.
to send out to just about every house then.
Not every house has it. So,
Say 80% at least do.
I don't know.
It's against the covenant, which they claimed the neighborhood watch sign was, you can't enforce one without enforcing the other.
Correct, and it'll be cited as the violation that it is. But again, there's no way that anybody is sending out 500 of these things and spending 10 days going through every single nitpicking thing. I'll advise Maria, make sure you put it on your punch list, because you need to focus on the signs,
Roofs.
declining lawns, roofs, mailboxes that need painting, some of the biggies that we have consistent issues with. And that's usually where her focus is on that stuff. Other stuff that she sees, she cites. I'm not really privy to it until I see the manager's report that comes out monthly on what's being cited, and most of the time that's handled at the ARB level. Mike Orlowski gets a copy of it, and he looks at it, and they review it, and
This has nothing to do with ARB though. It's a
ARB
covenant
lists the
violation.
violations though, on everything, at a homeowner level. And if it's a sign out there, they'll get a violation notice. If they ignore the notice, they'll get a second.
But they're gonna say, why didn't anybody tell us this was a violation? You said in one of your letters on the website, you were gonna start sending monthly bulletins. You tell them you can't put it in there, that it's now illegal to have, please remove them within the
And I
next 30 days.
just said in the last send out, we're gonna resurrect starting this month, the monthly newsletter. So there's no delinquency on that. We haven't got to the end of the month to send it because we need to have the board
I'm
meeting.
asking you if you can put it into the next letter.
I guess I
That
can
is a
if we
violation.
have room, but again, I'm gonna put it in there and say, remember to do your roof, your declining lawn, and everything else, and we'll have it as a punch list item.
Treated the same.
It's all treated, if a covenant violation is a covenant violation.
And it's not any different than the roof.
Follows the same process.
The people know right now they have to clean the roofs. They don't know those signs are illegal. Plain and simple. You can dance around the subject, it's just,
No, I would say that's incorrect because I have people who call and complain that they got a roof violation. Just as I would have people call that I have a lawn violation, that say we need to paint their house, that say they can see their trash cans from there. You're gonna get calls on this no matter what, all of which fall under the same scope of the covenants that is out there. And it's all handled the same process. I can't just create a separate process for something, that's really not in dire need of anything else other
there's
than to
no
follow the
dire
current
need to rip
process.
out the neighborhood watch sign in the middle of the night after the meeting. It's the same thing. You told Slayton, draft a letter and we'll send it out to the people that the signs have to go. Did you not say that?
Yes, and after
Okay,
we
so where's this letter?
conferred again, and I asked Tom, I said, do we really need to do something? If it's a violation, doesn't it just go through the normal process? And going through it again, and we've had this conversation with Mike Roloski too, it's a violation. So just send the violation notice. If I'm gonna send a notice, just send the notice and people will take care of it. But I can't cajole or force somebody to do it. I can send a letter saying, you need to do your roof, everyone needs to do their roof. Some may not, and they're still gonna get a violation notice and follow the same process.
Okay, so Maria's gonna send everybody that note that it's illegal. Everybody that has one, correct? That's
Yeah.
what you're saying?
I'll tell her to put it on her punch list. It's one item on several that she needs to look at when she goes through the community.
And speaking of that, she's not making many of these meetings at all. should we be paying them as much if she's not showing up, we're not getting representation?
Yes. Leland's fee is Leland's fee. It's not just for Maria, it's for all the rest of the overhead and the shared services processing and all the balance of it.
Well, is their program based on quarterly meetings? Is that why they don't come to as many?
No, it's because we had to change from yesterday because the JCC was closed and she has a meeting conflict tonight. Because they're in budget season, it's a little hard to move around stuff.
But she has missed several in the past, though.
I wouldn't say several is a correct statement.
Well, we as a board are okay with Maria and Leland, correct?
I have
I'm
no
having
issue.
no issues at all.
No issues. Very good.
No. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay, I'll make the motion to adjourn at 8:37 PM.
I will second.
All right, right, second. Thank you, folks.